Listen to the LARP Lounge live on Sundays at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at twitch.tv/Aerostar. That's twitch.tv/ARRUSTAR.
Hello, it didn't do damage either. Something's wrong. Anyway, welcome everybody to Season 2, Episode 6 of the LARP Lounge. Here we are with my guest today, s02e.
s02e, yes.
Do you have a last name?
Marathi.
Marathi, yeah, that's something I don't know. I just always s02e. Wizard s02e, that's what he likes everyone to call him. So.
Indeed.
So today we're going to be talking about the fun Winterfest activities that we just had. It's like the premier event of, at least for Mythic Realms. It's like our big event. And then we'll talk about some ritual magic, which we had to deal with some yesterday. So that works. And we'll use that as our tie-in, I guess. Because that was kind of the end of it. But and then we'll talk about a few classes. Oh, do we have that notebook from last week that I was writing in? Or 2 weeks ago that I was writing all the classes down in?
No, not that I know where it's at.
Okay. We'll have to just go through it again and try to remember. That's all right. So let's get started with our Winterfest recap. Let's replay. Oh, it's not even showing up in the mini feed.
Yeah, it's not showing it. That's why it's not doing anything. I don't know how to get it to refresh.
What's the next to the pause? What is that?
That's filter, the pop-out filter.
Oh, we don't want to pop it out. Anyway.
As soon as it comes up, I'll...
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll come up. No biggie.
It's all good.
That was a fun Winterfest. Yes, it was. So, well, let's get started talking about that. So, let's see. Very first thing I kind of want to talk about is my new medal that I got. Everyone can see this. I got this medal. It's kind of hard to see. I guess I could take it off and...
You should show it off.
Gotta show it to the camera.
It's kind of cool. There you go. Turn it. There you go.
That is cool.
So I got this.
I think we have a new sub badge.
Hey, there we go.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Indeed it is.
I like it. So, me and a few other people, including Boji and Rin, and, God, there was Ergo, Sitka. There was quite a few of us that got these for doing it was a downtime event, which we haven't talked about downtime yet, but basically we've been spending all of our time working with a certain faction within the Kingdom of Falconcrest to try to strengthen it, both physically and just monetarily and morally, and just trying to boost them. So we didn't expect anything.
Which faction?
I was with the Nobles.
You were with the Nobles. That's good.
So I've been hobnobbing with the Nobles because not a lot of people want to do that.
As a white knight, it probably serves you best.
I'm not a white knight, though.
Oh, that's right. You're not a white knight.
I just act like one, and everyone thinks I am one, which
Indeed.
I get all the time. But yeah, I'm not actually a white knight. So,
Indeed.
I know Boji for the lot would switch back and forth between the range guard and helping out with the guild. So we've just been doing a lot of stuff to strengthen them. And we kept getting told, don't expect anything, don't worry. We weren't. We're just doing this for something fun to do to strengthen the country. And then they were like, boom, the prince showed up and Lord Orin showed up. And they're like, by the way, here's this reward ceremony. We were like, wow, that was
good.
cool. But yeah, Boji's been mostly helping out the guilds though. But so.
I didn't get invited. I'm such a outside of Falconcrest.
Are you a citizen?
No,
Yeah,
I never will be.
Yeah, that's why you had to be a citizen. Newell was one of them. Newell actually became a citizen to join this mini game. Like, why
That's
is that
great.
red? What is
He
going on?
highlighted it. Oh no, I don't know.
The bot is taking over.
Yeah, the bot's becoming
Becoming
very
aware.
angry, apparently. Here's your hug. Take it or else.
Indeed.
That's really weird, but... So that was kind of fun. Another thing I wanted to show off, everybody got these. He's got his as well that we can show off, but we all got these from one of the other players. They made us all these money pouches. So there's mine. With a nice shield, what looks like my shield back there with my J for Jovi on it, which I really like. I still have my money in it. Even you can hear that clanging around. I haven't. And there is s02e06. There you go. You can kind of see the writing on it, but they are legit cool. Yeah, like she showed up with this giant box, and we're like, "What is this?" And then she hands us all these individual boxes, and like, "Happy Winterfest." So that was.
Apparently, she can do these in 20 minutes. It's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Besides the embroidery, she has an embroidery machine, so
Wow.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, like you got a different kind of.
Yep.
Mine feels almost like a.
Almost full leather.
Yeah, I like that though a lot. So.
Indeed.
And it actually, look at that.
Yeah.
She didn't even know I was doing this shirt, and she got the interior materials almost exactly the same.
It kind
as
of
my shirt.
matches, right? I have the red outline on my
Yeah.
book, and I also have a maroon robe, and it matches the inside of my maroon robe.
Yeah. So that made it that was a nice unexpected surprise. So.
Indeed.
What was there that you were busy? You were doing a lot of stuff. So.
Yes. So funny enough, while everyone was getting medals, a angry spirit decided to come and chastise us for dabbling in crystal magic, which is something that was unexpected. But yes, it was a very stressful time because you guys are up there and they're demanding everyone be in the room for this presentation, and then had the partial spirit of Haramir show up and yell at us for doing crystal magic.
Wow.
Which was quite stressful, right? Because his opinion of crystal magic is burn everything to the ground.
You don't learn anything that way, though.
Indeed, but it's one of those that he would call a plague ship, which then creates if anyone touches it, they're possibly diseased and needs to be put down, which would mean the whole town at this point.
Well, you guys, after we killed the Amethyst Golem, and I was like, I'm like, hey, should I use this opportunity to become Crystal Touch? And she was like, absolutely not.
Not on that.
She's like, I don't want my Warden Crystal Touch. It might mess with our abilities. I'm like, all right, fine.
Oh, it is one of those that is such where it can provide extra abilities and allow you certain manipulations of crystal magic. Gray is one that such has a crystal in him. There's also a couple other people that have imbued in it. So while I'm crystal touch, I don't actually have any crystals in me, which is quite interesting.
I didn't know that Gray had that. I just bonded him.
Yes. Yeah. So,
We'll have to see if that interferes at all.
I don't think it will. I am kind of directing that magic. However, I'm still a novice. So if anything goes awry, we'll see.
So Nevis says, Boji got some nice coin from Winterfest. Can you increase the size on that? I'm so used to it being the big letters now that it's kind of...
Well, Winterfest is definitely one of those that you get a lot of coin from. I think I got 4 gold-ish.
I haven't counted it all. I know that we got a lot, and you got a lot for yesterday morning, too. I know that much. So
Indeed.
It's not actually letting you set it. Oh, well, we'll be fine. We're sitting right here, but...
Let me keep tinkering. Go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that. Oh, yes. That lucky trinket that he got.
I'm actually glad you got that. I kind of wanted to... I was hoping I got it just for the fun of it, to tease Tarquin. But that trinket that he got, seems quite spectacular.
Yeah, I'll let him tell you what it did, because that was quite miraculous. If he wants to. I don't know if he wants to. But, so let's see. Another fun thing that happened, is kind of fun, but extremely stressful, is someone tried to kill me. So I got drawn off, and I did all the wrong things. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I didn't take a weapon. And yeah, I totally fell for that. I literally walked in with this notebook ready to take notes to listen to this guy, like totally ready. And yeah, he like totally tried to kill me.
It's not Winterfest unless somebody's trying to kill you.
Yep, and then he tried to kill Saratil, and that was kind of fun. Literally laying in the hall, getting jumped over as they're fighting each other in the hall, and then Saratil took off and was like, "Help!" So they took him down, but he had a list on him. Mm-hmm. I am on a hit list, and I'm trying to figure out a common denominator, and I'm starting to think it's just the whole town of Northwatch.
We have made a lot of enemies.
But I just, because it says that not everyone has been named yet, and I'm starting to just think it's the whole town of Northwatch.
Maybe. I don't know. Yes, I'm not certain. I originally thought it was people dealing with the Pale Dream.
But I haven't done anything with that.
Yes, exactly. So that was thrown off.
Well, a lot of people...
Could be citizens.
A lot of...
Saratil's not a citizen, is he?
Oh, I don't know if he is. But a lot of people thought maybe it was people doing the mini game, but there's people on there that aren't doing the mini game. So that was, we call it the mini game, but it's just basically our downtime. Yeah, there he is. Boji literally found 5 gold from good luck because of that trinket.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So.
Did it go away, Boji, or do you get to keep using it? Because seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's way cool. So. Yeah, so the hit list is that kind of caused a stir when we're trying to figure out the common denominator, but a lot of people thought it had something to do with those that helped out Wish, and I'm like, I've never helped out Wish until yesterday. That literally was the first time I've ever even seen Wish.
Everyone is feeding Wish names, and I don't necessarily appreciate it, but what can you do? You get to, what? You're going to be rich. Can I have a loan? I might need it. I have several things that I'm investing in.
He just says lol. Yeah, lol. Have you ever logged into the Streamlabs website on here before? Have we ever needed to do that? I wonder if that's why nothing's updating, but oh well.
Oh well.
I'm just thinking anyway. So yeah, we had our nice dinner. Everyone had their meal.
Mine got cold because I was doing ritual magic.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed. I even paid more for it.
What did you get?
I got the pork chops.
Oh, you did?
Yes, they were quite tasty. However, it got cold because
that sucks.
I got told I needed to assist with a ritual.
Wow. That's kind of a bummer, but they was good. Me and Boji, we did the pulled pork.
Did?
And I went and got some rolls and made myself a pulled pork
definitely.
sandwich. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. But we had mashed potatoes, real mashed potatoes, left the skin on. That's how I like it anyway.
Definitely.
Good gravy, some string beans. And the standard fare was, lemon chicken and a thigh all stuck together. It was...
Which was really good itself, too.
It was way good. So
yeah.
It was a very good meal provided by Lita. Well, it wasn't Lita, it was her other character, and some character, I don't know who.
Yes, I'm not totally certain his name. However, he is a caster, so I guess I'll be initiating him at some point. Who knows?
Food was some of the best we have had at Winterfest. I think I've only been at 3. One of them was as an NPC, and I have to say, so far, I agree.
I think the first one back for me in 2012, they had some Cornish game hen and stuff like that. It was really good, but this one was very tasty as well. So, yes, but then again, food, it's always wonderful to have.
Yeah, it's nice to have food. So, let's see. There's a lot that happened.
Well, I mean, so let's start out with the night premise was yours truly and 3 other people had been pulled into a crystalline cavern that had been created by a key. This entity that we met then offered us a reward, and we chose the reward to be for the town, and not something that we needed to gather, because we could have taken a challenge right then and gotten a reward.
Oh.
But then we chose, why not Winterfest?
Yeah.
So, he asked us what we would want in our rewards, and we tried to make those rewards equitable for everyone involved. So I don't know if you got anything out of the rewards box or anything, but we definitely got some fascinating scrolls, which is wonderful. That scroll of Legion of Fearless is something that will come in very good handy, especially for a town of adventurers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The big thing I was looking forward to was the map, and then it ended up being what it was, so I wasn't as excited for that after all, but...
Well, the map was actually quite humorous as far as it goes. So what we did was, after he set up mazes and challenges, and then we were able to collect certain items, and one was a map, and the map was the somewhat useful map of finding. And basically what you did was you poured whatever you wanted into that map, and it might lead you to it, but it also might have a disappointing outcome.
Yeah.
But you would definitely learn something along the way.
Yeah, it would still lead you, help towards your end goal, but it wouldn't necessarily be the thing you were looking for. So in that end, it would be disappointing. Yeah. So it was kind of a humorous kind of item, but it was described as a map that would lead to an ancient Hadrian artifact, and we were all excited, and they were like, "Oh, well."
Well, and in the end, we actually decided not to give it to Ragnar.
Because we figured it wouldn't be that useful for him.
Right.
So he needs something
Concrete.
The map seemed useful. It did. I mean, it still seemed useful. That's why I went in to try to get it, but...
That's why I went in as well.
So.
Actually, no, I didn't draw for that one.
But.
Yes, there were some very powerful magic items, though. The heart, which was a giant crystal... kind of diamond-esque thing that allowed you to find someone you loved, which is quite fascinating, and some other things. Several different wondrous items as far as it goes.
Shoot.
Which was definitely good.
Yeah.
Which we ultimately ended up trying to find the Greymore line, Zephram. And hopefully we are able to reacquire him, along with Averick Silver. So, it should be interesting. And, the night turned out well. I actually enjoyed the puzzles way more than I enjoyed the fighting.
And I went and did the puzzle one twice, and I was like, I suck at riddles. And yet I solved 2 or 3 of the riddles, and I was like, wow, I usually suck, but...
In one 15-minute span, I solved 7 riddles.
Wow. We did end up solving all... I just sent you a picture that I would like you to see if you can pull up on here. That's what I was doing, so...
No, it's okay.
Since we always talk about my bonds... I actually got a photo with me and all my bonds taken during Winterfest, so that was kind of a fun opportunity too.
That's definitely good.
So we'll show that here in a little bit. But yeah, it was fun doing those little... I never ended up doing the tournament, I guess you could say. I never did that, but I don't know. I'm just not a big... I wasn't feeling 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I got roped into one, and thankfully I did. Otherwise, they probably would have gotten eaten by...
That was the last round, wasn't it?
Yes,
I think
it
when we
was.
watched you and you guys whooped them, so...
Well, I decided I was done, and I was going to
I
set
heard
things
you.
on fire.
Yeah, I heard you throwing out your... They started throwing out, what was it, death blow poison or something like that?
They started, blood poisons, and then they were death blowing, and I tried to get them up, and they're like, oh, you go completely out. And I'm like, I'm done with this. And,
yeah, that's true. As soon as you hit your death count,
yeah, you leave. So
you leave.
I decided I wanted to be
your
done
Discord.
with that.
Yeah, I sent it to my email.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
There you go.
on Discord here.
So, Yeah, you threw out, like, what was it, like Fourth Holocaust or something?
Two Fourth Holocaust.
Yeah, you were like, I'm done.
Well, indeed. That's my whole point is I'm pretty much going to be passive unless things start going south, and I had just lost 2 people, so I was done playing.
You won. Yeah, they were some really good riddles, though.
Yes, they were. Look at all those bonds.
I don't think they can see it yet. She has to add it. So, but yeah, there was 2 mazes.
Mm-hmm.
There was the ruby maze and the amethyst maze, or topaz.
Topaz.
So the topaz one was the riddle one, and the ruby one where we had to go in and kill golems to earn.
There it is.
It's
Right.
yeah. So.
Well, so there was that, and my group that I went with failed miserably on that.
We almost succeeded,
fight.
but we got lost in the maze.
Oh,
We actually had enough trophies. We couldn't get back to the entrance in time. We were like, oh no, we started panicking and we got lost in the maze. So
that's funny.
we were like, dang it, man, we almost had it. So, yeah, so that was our second time through, and we only were able to go twice.
I only did the combat. Well, no, the second time combat, I ran in and solved like 3 riddles and died.
Oh, you died?
Well, that's okay. No, I didn't take a death because we didn't turn deaths on. So.
Yeah, nobody turned on Death is on the Line. I think everybody left it.
That's
nobody wanted to.
I mean, if the Garadetskis were, they probably would have.
Yeah. I didn't even know what the modifiers, like what the options were. Let's see. I looked mad in the picture. I was just tired and hurting. Well, and the picture makes it look like he's the center of attention. And there's the picture. So we're going to go kind of from left to right for everybody that can see this. So we have on the far left in the red dress, that's Zyra, one of my first bonds. And then next to her, that's Commander Gray, who recently just became Sheriff. So he's no longer Commander Gray. He's Sheriff Gray.
He's Sheriff Gray.
Sitting next to him is Boji. You guys have seen him on here before, but for those that haven't, there he is. He was previous sheriff, so we got both sheriffs right next to each other. That's kind of funny. And then standing behind Boji is Valeron. He is leader of the Mercenary Guild. Merchant. That's
Gray
right, not
was the
mercenary.
leader of the
mercenary.
mercenary.
That's why. And then he's also the alderman, so he handles like the town funds and stuff like that. Next to him, kind of hiding in the middle, you can really only see her head, is Lita, who we've had on here before.
So bad.
She's just kind of hiding back there. And then next to her is me in my new armor. You can barely see me. And then
You're
over
so
the next.
shiny.
Yep, so shiny. Crow, I know previous, but I'm just saying we have 2 sheriffs side by side. I didn't mean the previous sheriff, but you were a previous sheriff. And then in front of me is Rayla. She's a fairly new character.
Yes.
Few months in.
Couple
She's
months.
Not a new player,
6.
just a new character. I bonded her because she is wielding one of the seasonal armaments that we need to complete our quest. So, and then next to her, who we had on here before, is Rin, the Parthen.
Yay.
And I just bonded her because she tends to go off on her own, and sometimes it's nice to have that little security blanket to just in case somehow they see through your invisibility or hiding or something like that, which happens.
Or you do something stupid.
Yeah. So, and she has admitted to me now that she's bonded. She is a little more careless than she used to be.
As Nikolai, I was unfazable.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I died, I had Sonya there to come get me.
Yeah, Rayla is Boji's significant other. So.
It's very true.
But yeah, everybody in there, I have a reason behind it. Lita is almost dead, so that's why I bonded Lita. She's at like 8 or 9 deaths, so if she dies again...
I mean, the game doesn't get fun until you die, until you're really close to death.
Yeah, so, and then Zyra's like our bookkeeper, and she's been doing a lot for like keeping knowledge of the town flowing. so that everyone knows what's going on. So I was like, that's definitely a person I need to protect, you know, like. So, but then I've been just doing people of authority. That's why I did Commander Gray, leader of the Mercenary Guild. But then he became sheriff, so
There you go.
I would have been extending it to him either way. I extended it to him 2 weeks ago, and he finally said yes. And then he became sheriff, so I would have approached him either way now, because I want to bond every sheriff. Crow turned it down. So I don't need it.
Well, you know, that's Crow.
Yeah, he didn't need
Grumpy,
it either.
grumpy Gus
Not
that he is.
necessarily grumpy. He just didn't need it. I mean, genuinely, if there was someone that didn't need a warden, it was definitely him. So
Everybody needs a warden if you're doing it right.
yeah, so there you go, everyone. You can see all my bonds. It's kind of fun for me. In fact, there was a bingo that I was on the bingo.
Oh man, I didn't know you warded great today. I would have.
No, I didn't know. The bingo was to offer to ward somebody, and I didn't. And I specifically didn't offer because I knew I was on that. I was like, what the heck?
That's funny.
So apparently that's a trope that I offer to ward people, which I kind of do, but
I don't think I was on bingo. I don't know. I didn't see anything specifically for me. So.
Yep, Boji. 7 years in and only 2 deaths for Boji.
Gotta get yourself out there, Boji. I mean, you are, but you know.
Yeah, I've only got 2 deaths too, but I don't have that many years.
Well, I have 1, but I gave it away. So.
Well, and one of our 2 is we gave it away too to a ritual. So
Yeah, same as me.
yeah, so.
So.
But I was like, I kind of, when it came to the thing with Wish, I kind of have the same mentality as Corvus did. We don't know what's going to end up happening with Wish, and so I don't know that I want to be fueling this unknown element. So I was like, I'm not giving up a life for that. Like,
Indeed. Originally, when it happened, actually, we were in Kuval, and for people who don't know, Wish is a wandering shrine that we brought to life by sacrificing some of our lives, and now it is sentient, and people keep feeding it ideas, such as knowledge, such as death, and love, and recompense, and justice. It's quite interesting.
Boji says, one of our deaths was from stupidity, the other was self-sacrifice, and that's pretty accurate. In fact, I think you were there for our first death.
Probably.
It was a long time ago in the castle on Redwood Road.
Oh, jeez.
I remember we were getting drug off, and the Garduchies were like, "No, Smash Brothers!" That was all the effort you were. Gonna
Pretty
do.
much. Someone should go get them.
Yep. I remember that.
I mean, you know.
But we got drug off into a room that they were very well guarding, and it was like, well, we're screwed. We're dead.
It happens.
Yep.
Yes. So I don't know. Like I say, the whole death thing. I think, being a little scared of everything is probably a good thing. Because if you're never in danger, then do you really feel that rush of adrenaline when you come out the other side winning?
I mean, I always feel like I'm in danger, but
Really?
yeah, I do. I'm a frontline fighter.
I
I'm
guess
always
so.
up there. I'm always, you know what I mean? I go down at least once a combat, except for the one where I was guarding, when I got made fun of for guarding.
Hey, we were safe, thankfully.
Well, that guy came up, though, behind me and started trying to negate magic, so...
It wouldn't have worked.
I didn't know that, but I just,
ritual.
Gray was like, stay here, man, in case they somehow could break through this barrier. So I'm like, fine, I'm not moving.
If
but,
they broke through that barrier, we were in trouble.
Yeah. So that's why I stood there, just in case someone was coming up behind. And anyway, it was just, it did kind of suck because I'm watching everyone fight and I'm just standing there.
Yes, I definitely understand that.
I was like, oh, this is kind of boring.
Indeed.
But let's see, Boji is hard to kill, so I'll be honest that I don't fear death often.
Indeed. Well, that's the whole point, is kind of being destructible, but there is a certain thrill while you're lying on the ground and you're out of lives, and you're like, will this be the final death for me? So my first character I ever had, which was 20 years ago, he came close to death. He never actually was obliterated, but they would tell you a feeling lying on the ground, being like, I don't know if I'll live again. It's quite interesting, a sensation.
Boji says, although Boji's one-on-one counter with that Mareg, he came close then.
Maregs are
scary.
Scary, indeed.
Yeah, when that guy hit me and I was down on the ground, I pulled out my phone and started timing. I'm like, well, this might actually be my. And I was pissed for a second, but I'm like, you know what? I can only be mad at myself. I made all the wrong moves, so if I die here, so be it. Like,
as far as people trying to kill people, it's quite a tame, tame Winterfest.
Yeah. He says Black Mareg. Yeah, it was a Black Mareg that he was one-on-one with, so that tells you something.
I would have just ran away.
I believe he accepted a duel from it, so that was why.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we did the mazes. We did them a few times. We had some opportunities to do them a few times, and we got some.
And somebody made fun of a fairy, which then the fairy was bothering us.
I don't know that we made fun of him.
Yes, Talos had some expletive words for him.
Well, everyone had some words for him.
No, like really rude.
Wow, I didn't hear that part.
That's the reason why he was stealing things from us. And so...
Well, I was under the understanding that he wanted an apology because of...
Well,
because we tried to kill him the first time. I wasn't there for the first time, but... let's see, I couldn't. Boji says I couldn't. He teleported me to a pocket dimension of sorts. Couldn't run. No choice. Oh yeah, he couldn't run. Yeah. It was something like who wants to duel me? And he's like, sure. And then, like, just without him even knowing, like, didn't agree to it. He just got so. But the fairy. If I understand, the first time the town met him, he put us in an arena to battle each other.
Right.
And so when we got out, we tried to kill him because we were pissed at him. And that's what he wanted an apology for, and nobody would give him an apology, so that's why he was screwing with us. But
that could be it, but people were rather crass to him.
Oh, yeah. I was like, who is this guy? And everyone was so mean to him. I'm like, well, he did something, apparently.
That should go to tell you, don't piss off an adventuring town. You will end up dead. Because at the end of the night, he ended up dead. And it's very hard to kill a fairy. It's very hard to kill a fairy.
Yep, he is. Yeah, that was scary. Yeah, stupid fairy.
Actually, it was quite funny. He was played by Casey, and running around the maze.
Oh, that one, the one that was charming everybody. Yeah,
that was him.
Yeah,
part of him.
Yeah, we were talking about the big one with the silver hair and the one that was being played by.
Yeah, I think they were both one and the same entities.
The other one was, were they? They were just parts of him.
Parts of him.
Oh, that was funny. Northwatch is strong when we unite for a purpose. That is 100% true.
It's true. We need a uniting force, I think. Right now, there's too much in the wind. But that's, I guess, a discussion for later.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. So at the end of the night, throughout the night, we were collecting tokens. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the night, we needed these black tokens.
Right.
Which we used to unlock barriers in the final maze. Mm-hmm. Which
then gave us the rewards such as the Wand of Feasting, the heart crystal,
the urn,
which was used to empower it could have been anywhere.
Yeah, but we ended up using it to empower Wish,
the Wandering Shrine,
an entity that we know nothing about.
Technically, I'm his father, so it can't be that bad.
I tell you, it was weird when we came up on him and he's like, "Hey, Jovi, how's your search for the Shield of Spring?" And I'm like, "I have never met you. How do you know all this?" Like, that's
because we're all kind of bonded some weird magically way.
I offered to teach him warning abilities. He's like, "Ooh, I would like that. I just don't know how I would learn." And I'm like, "Well,
You'd have to spend some time. You definitely could, actually.
Yeah, so he said, you could spend some time with me, but the problem is there's all these snakes that keep attacking. He's like, you wouldn't be able to survive by yourself. I'm like, no, that's true.
Yes.
But I want to, if he really is bonded to all of us, I was like, it would be cool to see what side effects there would be if I taught him some warden abilities.
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting. So I'm kind of interested in maybe spend some downtime, take some people and go do that.
Yeah.
I think I want to do that.
Oh, you should.
I think I should. That would be cool.
Following the unexpected leads to unexpected roads.
One, it would be fun. I think it would give me some plot that I threw myself into that it would be kind of fun to see. So
it would be.
So
there was, and that's how you get unexpected things with your characters, kind of mutations. Mm-hmm. Nikolai threw himself into the Herald stuff and actually became somewhat of a mimic at the end, which was quite cool. You want to teach him how to berserk? I don't think we should be teaching a child how to berserk there.
That's true.
Especially one that is not monitored by anyone.
So.
But.
Yeah, Boji says, screw that, I'll teach him how to berserk, lol. So.
That's right.
So that was basically the first night. We ended up killing that fairy, which was not part of the plan.
That eventually became the plan.
Yeah, when he started screwing with us throughout the whole night, basically our host was like, hey, this guy's screwing with you, and he's screwing with me, and I don't like it. So I'm going to provide you with the tools. Should you choose, you can take him out. We were like, duh.
Indeed. Well, apparently, our host, the Arc Wizard, was not, or well, it was Q, and Church was not opposed to that. But
no. So that was the first night for the most part.
Indeed.
And then we've sort of talked about the second day. So that was all Friday night. Quite a busy night. So let's see. I'm just glad that a demon or pale one, something like that, didn't show up.
It might have, and you might have not known.
That's true. We've kind of stopped checking for pale ones.
Well, pale ones are not a problem. I'd be more worried about shapeshifters. What are their names? Can't remember. The Forsaken.
Well, that's what I meant. The Forsaken's who we've stopped checking for.
We have.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You can't really check for a pale one because they're kind of, they don't really hide themselves, do they? They just show up.
Indeed.
So a Forsaken was there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, tell me. I don't
makes
remember
sense.
this.
Yes, let us know, Boji. See, this is why Winterfest is great, because I do different things. You do other things.
Yep, they somehow managed to keep us all busy. So that's what's fun, man. So.
Yes, I mean, I even got a note from my mother.
I got a note I asked Druid Gilbert at the show because he's the one who's helped me with the show this spring, and I got a note from the Arcadian Grove on his behalf that he's indisposed for the next few years. He's communing or something with the Tree of Arcadium or something, the Tree of Arcanum, and
oh, you're not talking about no, that's Fallen. You're talking about the skeleton dude, almost like 7 feet.
No, that's a previous adventurer, isn't it, Sir Fallen?
Yeah. I don't know if he's an adventurer. He's an NPC always.
Yeah. No,
oh, not him. Yes, that's interesting. I did not know. There was some House of Cards people. There was some wizards. Let's see, who else was there at night? Obviously, the mages of Eye, which are illusionists. When we get into ritual casting, that is a possibility of a route to kind of go down.
Yeah, didn't one of them show up last night? And
that Church and Q are part of the mages of Eye. They are the ones that were running the thing.
I thought somebody else showed up that was a mage too.
There was Zyra's trainer who showed up and taught her ritual magic.
Oh, okay. Yes. And then, of course, we talked about earlier, Prince Eric showed up. Prince Eric's Falcon Crest, the next king of Falcon Crest. So
indeed. Which is funny because, like I say, I didn't get to interact with him at all because I was being yelled at by Harrimer at the point.
Yeah, you were. So I had a nice chat with him though about my hometown. So
that's good.
Yeah. So the NPC with the shadowy mask, I straight up asked if he was a Forsaken, and he said yes.
Interesting.
Oh, he had like the complete black face mask, like his whole face was covered. Isn't that who was yelling at you guys?
Well, that was Harrimer. So if it was a Forsaken, Harrimer did some shady things. Because how you create Forsaken are quite, you kind of torture them forever.
Wow. I wonder if we're thinking of the same person or not.
I don't think so.
So, but yeah, that was all Friday night. So Saturday we went back to Kaval, which we've talked about briefly. It's the ruined city that changes.
Yes. So we found out that the city was burned to the ground because of crystal magic.
Oh, wow.
And simply put was that they were warned for millennia, and the Valhorian decided there was enough warnings after his wife had been murdered. Ooh. He decided there was enough warnings, and I'm going to burn this to the ground.
Wow.
And so he burned it to the ground, and certain structures that are fade in and out are actually structures that were put into a subdimension, so people could not reach it, and there are the secrets of crystal magic hidden.
Wow. Red Hood, Blackface, yeah, that's who talked to you guys, isn't it?
I mean, he wasn't there for long. He didn't interact with anyone.
Oh, okay.
So, or interact with anyone other than us. He just left.
Yeah.
Of course, while we were having that discussion, Gray got assassinated, and it was quite crazy. But yeah, so
Gray was like, I wish I had spent those points.
Yep.
He's like, I don't have enough points to spend, but having that bleed to assassinate would have been nice last night. I'm like, well.
Indeed.
So Saturday, yeah, we went to Kaval. We had two options to empower two different black wells.
Well, there was the black wells, which are a part of the land that has been scarred by necromancy and abyssal during the Pale War.
Yeah.
And then there was the other part, which obviously we chose, was the Wandering Shrine.
Yeah.
Which is a sentient being now.
Which was named Wish after the second.
Right, a wishing well.
Yes, it's a wishing well.
Which is a very apropos name, I suppose. So.
You were there when Camilla asked him if he had a wish list, and he's like, do you have a Camilla list? Because he doesn't understand what wish means yet, so nobody's told him. So
Indeed.
That was kind of a fun little conversation real quick.
It really was.
He's like, do you have a Camilla list? She's like, well, I am a book, so, I mean, technically I probably do, but that was... So, yeah, we had to fight a bunch of snakes, and then we made our way to a bridge where we were fighting some troll skeletons, which that was... Those guys were intense for sure.
Yes, they were.
I never ended up using my I was expecting to use my turtle stance against them because they were shield crippling, but they never shield crippled me once. I was like, really? So that was kind of unexpected, but
yes, for people not really being in danger, I sure you used a lot of force skills.
Did you?
I went through all 18.
Wow.
I mean, I don't have 18, but I had a rebirth.
Oh, you did?
So, plus a couple extra funny things that I can do.
Yeah, we were never given a rebirth this whole time, were we?
No. We got a rebirth for being in that last fight of the tournament. He gave us rebirths. It's like, you can use this anytime. I'm like, well, I haven't done anything. So I'll hold on to it till I really need it.
Yeah. But after we killed the troll skeletons, we finally found the bridge where there was a well of magical arcane
Pool of
energy.
power.
Yeah,
Kuval is full of them.
yeah, and it basically took Camilla's bones and teleported them elsewhere, killing her, almost killing her. I guess she did enter her death count, but
That wasn't this week, was it?
yeah.
So did that happen when I ran off towards the thing?
It was when the first, yeah, it was before you got called. There was me, Sitka, Camilla.
Oh yes, that.
When
yes.
she was first walking to the well, it kept pulsating power, and the last pulse she had no defenses for, and we basically got described that her bones were teleported elsewhere, which is why she was rended for. So we were like, wow, that's some scary magic. But then you guys did some ritual magic.
Indeed, we created what's called a Sphere of Eternity, which allows for a defensive barrier which nothing can pierce unless it's ritual, which is definitely a good thing as far as it goes.
Well, and who came up with that idea? Because that was a great idea.
I think it was Zyra.
Because originally it was like, don't get hit or you guys get hurt.
Right.
And then someone was like, well, can we throw up a Sphere of Eternity?
It was either Zyra or
Valeron?
Valeron.
I think it was Valeron.
Yeah.
And then the runner was like,
I
yes.
didn't think of
He
that.
basically, yeah, you could tell that he was like, yes, you can. So,
And then we just let you guys sit outside or die outside while we're sitting in the...
sitting in safety while the rest of us.
Not complete safety.
That's
I
true.
almost got rended.
No, yeah, because you guys, there was the thing that kept manifesting within the sphere,
Yes.
which was a good idea that you guys thought ahead and brought fighters with you. So that was the funny part too. They're like, we need fighters that can maneuver around us. I'm like, that's not me.
Yep.
I immediately was like, with my bulky armor and shield in that little sphere, that's not me.
Indeed.
So, but yeah, we had while they were in there performing their ritual magic, doing I don't even know what, but
We were just coalescing the magic and then stomping out bad energy that would have gone into said bucket,
Okay.
if you want to call it that.
the urn.
The urn, yes.
While they were doing that, arcanum manifestations were showing up, trying to kill the rest of us, and almost succeeding.
Several times.
Oh yeah, they took down a lot of people, and I'm just standing there in the gorge, doing my job.
Sometimes that's the best part. Watch everybody like, oh god, they're
No,
dying.
man, that's like, because that's why I became a warden. Is I don't like
Yeah.
seeing people down. I don't like, and so I'm like, no, like I get all panicky down there. Like every time my walkie-talkie goes off, I just start panicking. I'm like, who is it? 90% of the time it's Lita, but
Oh, of course.
it's Lita or Zyra. So,
Yeah.
Rin almost walking me, but I heard her blowing her whistle, and I was looking right at her, and I'm like, Rin's down. Everyone already could tell because of her whistle. So
That's the best part about being a scout. However, I didn't really use it because I had a walkie-talkie. That would bring something far scarier than a whistle
yeah,
would.
yeah, Sonya's scary for sure. So yeah, and then once they were done with their ritual magic, the manifestations stopped showing up. We had to finish killing them off though.
Mm-hmm.
And then the urn teleported.
Yeah, that's why I tore ass up the hill.
Yeah, he took off running. He's like, "Come with me." I'm like, I'm not running."
And everyone was like, where's he going? I was like,
Yeah.
come on!
And yet somehow I was one of the first persons up the hill, even though I was like the farthest away, because everybody else was just.
They were all on the bridge. It was very inopportune. But luckily I didn't die for that.
Yeah. But then we ran into
Something very scary. An amethyst golem, which is supposed to be anti-magic. However, we found out that amethyst might not be anti-magic. It might be just draining the magic and keeping it in a corrupted wellspring, which is something probably even more scary.
Yeah.
And we send our fighters, not our casters, up to go kill the golem. But it was quite a scary moment because I I was standing there all alone with the urn and the amethyst golems, looking at me menacingly. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, the thing is that like he wasn't interested in us because he was performing some kind of ritual himself. Like he only got mad when we got close.
yes, but you don't leave.
No, I know, and I was
Amethyst
ready to go 1-on-1 just to distract him. Like I'm like, Newell, you're faster than me. Go distract him, and it worked. Like he's like, fine. I'm like, thank you. And then he threw that log at the structure he was making,
and really made him mad.
Oh yeah, that made him mad. And that's basically when the fight started in earnest. But we actually had everybody there by then, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But
right.
You missed this part. I was so mad. So I'm standing there holding my shield, ready to go fight the amethyst golem, and all of a sudden I feel someone tug my shield, and I hear a thud. Disease poison, and I'm like, what the? And I turned around and freaking Dante. No, Dante had grabbed my shield and had protected himself from an incoming disease poison, so I had to take it. I was like, he's like, sorry, you're faster than that, and I am. I'm like, well, you're the one that grabbed my shield. Like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, I can't believe you just did that to me.
That's funny.
So I went and took that zombie out because I was not happy. I was like, you just disease poisoned me, and I'm not okay with that. I was going to go fight this flipping golem, but not now. I'm only at 12 hit points instead of 25. Like, that's a drastic difference.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
I'm so mad. I'm like, can someone well-being me? I'm like, I could do it, but I'd rather save it for someone else. So someone did, but by then the amethyst was dead.
Yeah, so at that point they figured out it wasn't as dangerous as
some of the others.
Yes, it was a lesser amethyst golem. The last amethyst golem I remember fighting was with Sonia and Nikolai. And we couldn't kill it. We threw it into the abyss and locked the door.
Wow.
So I was understandably scared. However, Zisto doesn't have that knowledge. I was like, ooh.
I just know that I've heard of amethyst golems and that they're scary. So as Jovi, I was like, I'm not taking this on by myself. So yeah, I couldn't believe Dante did that though. I was like, what is going on over here? Like that one, but it was funny. I mean, people do that. Like, you just come in, but I'm there as a protector. So
indeed.
Oh well, if he had told me, I could have just hit him with a defend.
Yeah,
that would have been a better solution. But because I have like 3 or 4 of those at battle.
Wow, very good.
So I have a lot of Grant well-being because I have like 5. That's not on my bonds.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
More for my bonds.
Yeah.
Just for my bonds. Or force defend for them. But we'll talk about Warden today so we can get into those abilities. I think that's a good idea since I showed all my bonds.
We've got plenty of material to cover for sure.
Yeah, so.
It depends on how long you want to talk.
That's how long you want to talk because you'll be talking about ritual magic way more than me. So.
Indeed.
But yeah, after we did that, we made our way back to Wish. And more people gave him their life.
That was a little ridiculous.
A lot more people gave him their life. Like
11 lives.
As in, we got the max rewards. Like they were not.
And we paid him 6 gold to empower him.
Yep.
Crazy.
Why didn't you grant well-being yourself? Because I didn't want to.
Sometimes saving that grant well-being for when you're alone is the best thing ever.
I save it for when we're in the midst of combat and I don't have to wait for a healer. I can just reach real quick and just be like, you're up. Get back up. That's why I save my grant well-beings for.
I agree.
I mean, and I need to start trying, and like that's when I finally left with defending you guys. If someone was down and the healer wasn't getting to him, and I'm like, crap, Mort's down. I'm gonna go get Mort. A healer got to him before me, but like that's what I keep my well-beings for, is for when my fellow frontliners go down, and I'm like, get up. I'm not doing this by myself. That's why I save my well-beings for. So.
I agree. That is a very good use of them.
I wish you would use more well-beings on me. Well,
Well, you say you're pretty tough, so why do you need?
That's the problem. Is I don't know when to use them because I don't know what your hit points are. I don't know what your status is.
I think
And most of the time, I end up not fighting next to you. That's the biggest problem. Is somehow we get separated, and then I'm always stuck next to Talos.
Well, so you have that big shield, and he has that big hammer. They're not conducive. They're not
to
really fighting.
Yeah, they don't really. Even though we're supposed to have been built to support each other, it ends up not happening that way.
If he had a stabby stick, it would be very effective.
Perfect. Yeah. So.
But he has the hammer, which is good, but you can't use it in a LARP setting. I mean, it would work, but
yeah, that's exactly it. And it's like, I mean, most of the time we don't end up fighting next to each other, so I don't have opportunities to well-being you. But I have had some opportunities to well-being you, and I've done it. So, and I need to get into the habit of doing it more. But I like saving my well-beings for my bonds for those forced defends instead, because that is. Beneficial.
You'll eventually get to the point where you're Sonya and you have unlimited defense for your bonds.
I have that for death blows.
Yeah,
I have that.
It's amazing.
And I used it on Valorant on Friday night. He's like, I do need a slightly smaller shield. I did actually talk to Lita about it a little bit, and she's just like, I was going to ask you about it when you're not so busy, because she showed me her list of commissions, and I was like, yeah, you're going to be busy for a while. So.
I wanted to redo my spear, but I guess I should get on that list, huh?
Yeah, I guess that's what I need to do too. Just be like, let's get me on that list now and make it a little smaller. And as you can see, it's really hammered.
It is. Well, I mean, we're coming up on the time where we're able to go outside, so it's a little easier to fight next to each other.
Yeah, that's true. It's been hard in Castle, but
really
outside, that's when me and Boji tend to fight next to each other more, is outside.
I'm excited for Weekender season. I'm looking forward.
Oh yeah, I always am. Have they put up the poll yet?
Of what?
Of the Weekender schedule. They were supposed to a while.
They were. Well, they might have. I don't know. I don't think
I've looked. But we went to one of the meetings and they were talking about it, and I was like, I like that option. Yeah. Because one of the options has no May Weekender, and I'm like, May Weekenders are always miserable.
Yeah, they are miserable.
So I was like,
But sometimes those are the best, though. Like, come on. So one May Weekender we had, it was rainy. There was practically 12 people there, maybe 4 NPCs. But it was just awesome because it was a more intimate thing, right? You have 12 people there. You need to watch out for everyone.
Yeah.
When we have 40 people, I don't need to, unless you're being dumb, you're not going to die generally. Yeah. However, I believe Weekender season next year is going to be deadly. So.
I know that they're trying to amp it up.
Well, yeah, because I told them that if I'm not afraid, then, I mean, that's the whole point of being Weekenders, you got to be wary. You can't just walk off with anyone with a notepad and get stabbed.
Yep. I learned my lesson, though. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be like, no, you're coming with me, man. Like, I'm not going alone.
That's hilarious.
But, yeah, so that's basically Winterfest. We empowered Wish. We got all of our rewards. We got lots and lots of money, and we ended up leaving Caval and split up treasure, and that was it.
Indeed.
So, I mean,
it's very good.
It was very good. It was fun. Mm-hmm. So.
It definitely was. Like I said, there wasn't that stress factor that, like last year's, where I had like 13 Force Restore scrolls and used them all.
Wow. I have my first scroll that I can actually use. It's usable by any Force Restore, and I'm like, I need that. There's a few times on the front line too where I'm gonna be like, I have a lay on hands, but that takes too long.
That takes 30 seconds. Scrolls are wonderful.
Yep. So I had to ask somebody how to use it because I don't even know how to use it.
Summon scroll to Force Restore Spirit.
That's it.
Yep.
Just like that. Wow. So, but yeah. So since we were doing ritual magic there at the very end, I guess now it's the perfect time to talk about ritual magic.
We can definitely talk about ritual magic.
Did you want to take a brief break real quick and get something to drink?
Sure. Or? Let's take a moment.
Okay. So we're gonna take a brief break, everyone, and we'll be right back, and we'll jump into ritual magic.
Lounge live on Sundays at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at twitch.tv/Aerostar. That's twitch.tv/AEROSTAR. RRUSTAR.
We're at Ascendance Gaming Center. So it's kind of a lounge gaming center. You can do VR, do PC gaming, general hangout spot. We have some board games. We have some retro consoles that you can play as well. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to bring back the feel of 80s arcades. You know, everyone would meet at the arcade and they'd have a good time, and that would be like the hangout spot. All the equipment's provided. We have top of the line PCs. You can log into your own services via Steam or Origin. You play any of those, download your own games and play them on our computers, and you're good to go. And we have a selection of VR games, about 600 or something games available. Every Monday we have a Smash tournament, a Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then once a month they do a monthly tournament. We're also hosting a CSGO tournament now, and we're doing a Hearthstone tournament and a Beat Saber tournament.
Ooh.
Hello, everybody.
I'm unsightly.
Unsightly. So, I guess another thing we didn't talk about is my wardrobe change real quick. So,
Yeah.
Since we've been talking about me being the warrior, the spring warrior, I decided to change my shirt to a springly blue, like we discussed last week or 2 weeks ago.
We should make you a laurel of wildflowers.
I've already
So
got enough.
you can wear it as your crown.
There we go.
You know,
I like
you
it.
could be the spring warrior.
I like it, actually. I need something around my head. I don't wear headbands because they don't fit around my stuff. Like
I get it. My head's giant as well.
I have a small head, but once you add the coif and
yeah.
The white headband I have is just too small. I need another one. So
We should just add wildflowers into your koi.
there you go.
Just go buy some.
Yeah.
Or have whoever did your bags do embroidery into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that idea though. But so we're gonna talk about we're gonna do something a little different here. We're gonna talk about the wizard class because it kind of leads into ritual magic,
Indeed.
and then after we talk about ritual magic, we'll talk about a few more classes. So
Sounds good.
Let's talk about the wizard then here. So if you want to pull up the wizard real quick so that I can see what he's doing.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's one up from Warden. Oh, there it is. So as a wizard, they are trained to strive for balance in all things. They can either be a mystic class or an arcane class. And that actually is one of those where it gives you that balance, but then you become both. It also gives you the special incant of I Summon Magic, which makes everything so much easier because I don't need to remember Summon the Wisdom of Ages to True Vision 5. I just say I Summon Magic to whatever I want.
Nice.
Which is actually very handy, especially when you're stressed.
I never thought about it that way. I always thought that was kind of a lame thing that all these ones have that, but now that I think about it, there's so many different incants. It's nice to have to worry about only one.
Yep, Wisdom of Ages, yes, time and space,
fire,
air. Yes, I just summon magic.
Nice.
So, which is definitely a good thing as far as that goes. So they gain. So if they are mystic, which I was originally a mystic, and gain the arcane talent, which then gave me the ability to detect magic and whatnot. And it also allows you to gain their force skills of these actual spells here. And the spells, you gain more than just your traditional caster as far as it goes, either a healer or a wizard. So we get the Force Anticipate Blow and the Holocaust, but you also get the Earthquake, the Earthquake, Grand Hill, so the Earthquake is the extra thing that you get that most people don't get. But you also have, your standard grant heroism, obliterate you, enslave you, and obviously force restore your spirit.
So obliterate you and enslave you are necromancy. So
Indeed.
you get those, but you can't really use those unless you're sneaky.
It's more a matter of wizards are generally tasked with protecting the balance. So if I have to cast necromancy, I will, and I'll accept the consequences, but I use it very sparingly. So.
We, in fact, over Winterfest weekend, we had someone get in trouble for using necromancy. So not at the event. This was the previous.
Indeed.
Because they did use it at the event, but we were in Caval, and there's no laws against that in Caval, so they were totally... I heard the Sitka was not happy about it at all.
Not at all.
She was like, let me out of this damn sphere. I'm gonna... So I heard she was not happy, but that's funny. So
That happens. They also gain the ability to use a 2-packet when identifying magical items. So instead of identifying just one thing, such as a magic item, I can identify 2, and if I do an identify ritual, I can identify 5 things.
wow.
So that's very handy. It's not really a combat skill.
No.
Wizard is not a combat class per se, unless you build it right. Well, they used to be, but they're much more kind of role play, stand in the back until you need me type deals.
What's the difference between like the regular identify spell and a ritual identify? Like, is it longer or
No, so an identify spell will identify things that are temporary. So level 2 and below. So say something like if we come across something in the wild and it's going to dissipate in the next hour or 2, it would be a level 2. Or if we come across a magic item with charges, that would be a level 2 magic item.
Okay.
Now, if we come across something that is going to last for a long time, or we come across a magic item that is going to persist through time, that would be a level 3 or higher. It would require an identify ritual to do. So it's one of those that is such where identify ritual is the more valuable of spell because you're going to usually garner more knowledge at that point, but it is something that is definitely helpful to have.
Okay.
So that's level 1, and that's usually where most wizards get their kind of power bump because you get a wide array of actual wide array of spells to actually be able to cast.
That's a lot of force spells.
Yeah. You can only choose so many, and indeed, actually, you need to have a wizard's tome, which has your wizard's spell written down in them, so you know which spells you can cast, as far as it goes. And so I have everything handwritten in there.
That's cool.
Indeed. And it's kind of a flair that they added in. I don't think they intended it to become a thing, but they kind of made it a thing.
I like it. It's a flavor thing. Like,
Indeed. Yeah. When I sacrificed my wizard's tome to beat the Lich this past summer, apparently that was a major deal.
Wow.
It didn't have any lasting effects for me. I kind of wish it did, but that's okay.
So that's everything for level 1.
Right. So nothing too major as far as it goes. It gives you a couple extra force skills. Gives you the flexibility to use other force skills, which is nice. Level 2 gives me 2 base health when benefiting from arcane armor, which without any augments gives me 21 health.
Wow.
Right now. I have 24 now, so yeah, I'm pretty tanky for a person just wearing robes.
Yeah, you are.
So
It's one more hit point than I have with magical armor, so that's crazy.
it is. This is a big one. If you have expended all your force skills for the current logistics, you're able to regain a single use by focusing on your internal magic during the course of a short rest. To use this ability, you must meditate, study, or spar with magical energy during a short rest. So if I have completely expended my stock of force skills, it allows me to recover one, which could be invaluable, but does take 5 minutes.
So what does it mean by spar with magical energy? Like,
Some wizards are not the book type wizards. They are the ones that, like, you'd almost consider Banner a wizard. But he's more of a war wizard, right? So that's what they would do, like kind of shadow box per se.
okay.
The next thing is actually something that creates wizards to be very versatile in things. You're able to actually add interchange different skills, as it were. This one, at all times, gain the ability to expend one use of Vitality 5 or Cause Fear, or the Freeze Your Limb Fireburst spell to immediately gain a bonus casting of Vitality 5 or Cause Fear spell, or Freeze Your Limb Fireburst spell.
Okay.
So that creates those two to be interchangeable. So Zisto has Vitality 5. But I can also use them for Freeze Your Limbs or Fireburst.
Oh, okay.
Which is quite...
That's handy.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Dude, it was so nice. I think it was Dargo came up to me, and he did like a Vitality 7, and I was like, sweet. It was Saturday too, so I had +2 hit points because of the heart thing, and then he gave me that Vitality 7, so I was sitting at like 31 or 32 hit points. I was like, wow, I feel real tanky right now. Like, I was like, this is awesome.
It is.
And then I lost them after I got hit. They don't come back after you get hit, but it was still nice. I was like 7 or 8 hits before I went down. And I was like, this is awesome.
That's pretty good.
Actually, I never went down, but I got hit 2 or 3 times. Like, well, there goes my +7, But so I didn't even need healing because I was like, yeah.
That is very nice.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that feels nice. But,
another thing they also get is to also swap Charm You and Betrayal with Repel and Trip You. So it's one of those where they're interchangeable and they give them the utility box of almost everything, which is actually quite awesome, in my opinion.
I kind of want to get my new magical weapon with whatever it is for Trip because I like Trip.
Yeah, Trip is good. In fact, that's usually what I use is Trip.
Yeah.
Trip.
So.
Yeah, and then the last thing for level 2 is if you have your Wizard's Tome in your possession, gain the ability to use Attune 1 spell page for the logistics. Even without a spellbook or without scroll making training. If you utilize the Attune scroll making spellbook, this ability allows you to use 1 additional spell page without the need to install an augment. So this means that scroll making, which has several different augments to change your things, I can have 1 extra beyond the normal person.
Wow.
Yes, so it's quite handy.
Yeah, that's way nice.
Indeed. However, I've yet to take advantage of that, even though I am a wizard. So that's level 2. The biggest thing is, the neatest thing about that is the hot swap of spells for me.
The versatility is it's always nice to be versatile.
Yeah, that way I can just do whatever I want. Level 3 is where we get a little into ritual and a lot more into force skills. The character gains 1 level of in each of the following: arcane magic lore, mystic magic lore, and necromancy lore. So that's why usually when they ask wizards, do you have this lore? And they say yes, because I have a lot of lores. Because I get 3 extra levels in lores, which is preventative based on the list. So
Does that count against your cap on lores, or are they just bonus ones that
They're
are free?
bonus.
Wow.
yeah, they're free. I mean, it costs 8. So,
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's fine.
but you cap out on the amount of lores, and those don't count towards that cap, so that's
Right.
always nice.
Oh, it is. It's very nice. I have like 11 now, so it's one of those where, yeah, it's really nice. At all times, gain the ability to bypass force spells, prerequisite for learning ritual magic skill, and bypass any force spell type requirement for the ritual's prerequisite. Additionally, when making a ritual proficiency roll, which we will talk about in a bit, it gains a +5 to that roll. So there is a point to actually learn ritual magic. You have to have 5 force skills. To get around that, wizards used to be able to... Well, I would have 5 force skills by the time I reached level 3 wizard, because you used to get double your force skills.
Oh, okay.
That's why at one point I had 16 force skills.
Wow.
Now I only have 9, but it is what it is. So this allows you to get into ritual early, and it gives you a slight edge to learning your rituals as far as it goes. Yeah, and when casting a ritual magic spell, you may choose to use a prismatic gem as a substitute for a single skill point. Rituals actually have components and things that it consumes. Think of it as the fuel for an engine. And this would allow me, instead of taking a piece of my essence, a skill point, and using a different thing to actually fuel that fire. Which is quite interesting as far as it goes. Now here comes the long, complicated part of that. All times gain the ability to switch out your chosen wizard force spells in order to make an alternate choice. This ability requires to spend a short rest, 5 minutes, studying your wizard's tome. Oh, excuse me. Your wizard's tome while meditating with the tome. This also allows you extra force combat skills that you can actually learn. And those are several varying array of actual force skills. That's why you'll hear some weird calls coming from wizards, such as elemental, echo, force negate magics, glacial freeze, healing earth, hurricane, grand speed, radiant blaze, radiant burst, reflect, magic, and renew and entropy. Now, that's quite a list. You only get 5 per logistics. You have to choose, and you write them down in your tome. That way you're not Mr. Cheaty McCheaterson.
Yeah. I have seen as an NPC Camilla use Hurricane, and it was... Yeah, it was like...
I tend to use Renew more than I actually use any of the other ones. Actually, I digress. I use Force Negate Magic far more than I use any of the other on the list.
Yeah.
Which is, it's neat. And then they have a ton of different actual spells as far as it goes. You know, the Banshee's Wail, which is necromantic. Allows you to throw a 2-packet Force Enslave Undead or a 2-packet Force Drain 40.
Wow.
Yes. As well as, like, Entropy allows you to do a foot plant, Force Weaken you, Force Drain you. Renew allows you to do a foot cleanse or heal you, which is amazing. And then there's some really weird ones as far as it goes, like Healing Earth, which allows you to throw a 2-packet, 1 Force Stone U20, 1 Force Heal U20.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. They've added these spells, which is quite gives you a different flavor as far as it goes, and more versatility because you know not all wizards are the same, but they are.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so any of those spells on that list that you want to go over?
The one I wanted to go over, you went over, was the Earth Healing.
Yes,
so
the
I was
healing,
wondering
right?
if it was offensive and
It is.
healing, so that's kind of cool.
It's just like also the Radiant Burst, which is a 2-pack force grant well-being, as well as a force cleanse U40. So if I come up on you and I need to heal you and kill whatever undead that fighting, I can definitely do that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is kind of like a very good support class because you're like, hey, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and you can be built completely different. Like, I'm a healer, but Camilla has no healing except for force restores.
And I'm not a healer, I'm a wizard. Well,
Yeah.
you could technically be a healer as a wizard.
I find it more effective to actually stand behind and fuel the offensive than throw spell packets. So that's where we actually diverge.
Yeah.
Because, when things get thick, I'll pop my my hand of not hand of life. Let me look. I have my character sheet right here. Whatever it is, a font of life.
Font of life.
I'll pop a font of life and be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So yes, as wizards, they are very much a support class, but they're also one of those that can be built very differently as far as it goes.
Cool.
Which kind of leads us into ritual magic. Wizards are on the forefront of learning rituals. Now, anyone can learn rituals. We just have a slight edge. We can start at 300 points.
Yeah, as opposed to 500.
As opposed to 500, as well as we get an extra 5%, which really is nominal when it comes to learning rituals. 5%, it's all based on rolls. Very rarely do I ever bump that 5% line as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But it is the ultimate form of casting as far as it goes. It generally takes components, sometimes special components, such as gems, prismatic gems, prismatic dust. I'm assuming you guys have covered components as far as it goes.
Not really.
So these are things that that a ritualist would pull from the ambient air and part of his essence to create components and things to fuel. It would be the fuel for the rituals.
I think we did minorly when we went over artificing, but
Indeed. They have Terluring dust.
yeah.
Ritualists have prismatic dust.
Yeah, we didn't actually name off the individual components because there's quite a few, but we talked about how you need components to make stuff in artificing, so
Indeed.
yeah.
So we create manifest prismatic dust and prismatic gems and rune dust and rune stones, which are worth a kingdom as far as it goes because they're so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So there are several different or several skill points worth of investment as far as it goes. Yes. So it's quite the interesting thing. And when casting a ritual, you'll see ritualists put down circles.
Yep.
They'll put down things. Those are used to focus the energy and have potential effects of enhancing that ritual. However, they don't always enhance the ritual, but they're there in case the possibility allows for it. There are some ritualists who never prepare, and they just cast while going. And then there are some ritualists that's what they do. They prepare. They have a circle. They have lights. They have everything that would enhance that in hopes that nothing goes wrong. Because ritual magic is very volatile magic.
Yeah.
It can blow up a whole town. Were you there for that when the town blew up?
Yep.
That's right. Yes.
That's actually the life that was given.
Yes, that is the life that was given.
So that's back when you were a Garadesky.
That's
so
when I was a Garadesky.
That's some time ago.
It was.
Almost died twice.
Mhm.
Because Sonya was betrayed right in front of me. It took me down. And I was bleeding out when the thing went off, but it still counted, so.
Indeed. Yes, so yes, it can blow up towns. It can do something as simple as create food and water. And it can create several different effects. So it's one of those that's, the height of casting. Now there are other things like gypsy magic and stuff, but this is meant to be the be-all, end-all. So after they set up their circle and set up their lights, they'll usually cast a ritual by saying, I summon ritual, and they will count to a certain amount, which is generally 60 unless you're an experienced ritualist. Now, when you become further in ritual, you get the ability to have a personal incant. I have yet to get one, but I'm sure you've heard a wizard say, with the wisdom of the ages, I call upon the universe, I summon time and space. With the powers of legend, I imbue this ritual with the elements, a bar to life, a bar to death, a conduit for magic. I summon ritual. And it's one of those that is just kind of flavor text. It's kind of like the magic. I summon magic.
Yeah.
But instead, if I'm giving a speech on how I'm going to imbue this ritual, it's definitely can be thematic, per se, or dramatic per se.
Now, real quick, just to talk about when we blew up the town, we didn't just blow up the town for fun. Like we actually were killing a demon in the process.
Indeed.
In fact, killing the demon was the reason behind the ritual. Blowing up the town was a side effect of killing the demon.
Well, so I didn't know if you knew this, but that demon originally, we were supposed to run from him. And that ritual that was being cast, you guys way overpowered it. And that's why you destroyed the town, because you guys put so many lives into it.
We do that a lot, apparently.
Yes.
So I remember it was me and Boji, and I remember Lance Corporal Simon. He gave a life. I don't remember who else. I remember those. But
So did Fagin.
Yeah.
Secretly, I was so mad at him for that. I was like, "You're not supposed to give these." I was like, "Whatever. I'm the protector of the town." I was like, "Here, gypsy."
Boji says I've debated between ritual or artifice with my other character.
Yeah, it's hard to do both. I'm a scroll maker and I'm a ritual caster, and my scroll making has suffered because I can't do both. So choose one. Ritual's fun. It's not for everyone, honestly, because there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. Artificing's kind of cool though, because there's some cool stuff, cool flavors that you can add to your character with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But ritual's awesome too, because I can burn something down if I really want to.
Well,
Or I can
there seems
teleport
to be a
down.
lot of plot and like extra opportunities behind ritual that
There is.
that you're involved in that other people aren't involved in. So
Right, and that's kind of the whole end game for ritual. And I've talked with the need to add something like this for warriors, like the path of martial arts, like not martial arts, but martial traditions.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, like I want, if I had the thing, I would have a kind of like, you have this sundering strike that might break the person's armor, but also breaks yours, and stuff like that. But that's something further down the road. So, but yes, there are. It does unlock some doors.
Yeah.
I think the problem is sometimes there are so many ritualists though.
Yeah.
So, and everyone needs to cast this ritual. So it's a very slow progression. You have to be patient.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of ritualists, and a lot of them, even if they're not casting the spell, they'll go to try to learn the spell, so they...
Or assist if they...
Yeah, assist, or they just like to watch. Like, I know Zyra loves to watch rituals, because...
Every time she's around when I cast a legend lore, something weird happens.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because of her... Does she still have that weird staff anymore? Or?
No, she doesn't have that stuff.
That's what I thought, but...
It wasn't because of the staff. It was just... the stuff I was casting it on caused weird things.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah.
it's just very funny.
So...
Artificing's a good way to go, Boji. Depending on what you want to do, though. But ritual is fun as well. It gives you several different things. And we can actually talk about the different things that you can actually do. Such as analyze magical auras, which would be where that magic's coming from and what type it is, whether it's time and space or arcane or wisdom of the, several different types of actual castings. But anything you can think of, you can probably do with ritual. It's just a matter of how much time you're willing to invest in that ritual. And they have a list here, but there it is possible to research things off that list, which takes time, and you do have to get approval for it. But stuff like Armor of the War Wizard allows you to give you 100+ health to your arcane armor and a damage ceiling of 4, which is something very spectacular. I mean, so I would
100+ health.
100+ health.
Wow. I'm assuming that's an elusive ritual. Or,
yes.
Yeah. So it's very, 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 very hard to find and learn. But that makes it worth it.
And if you actually spend rune dust and skill points, you can add additional 100 health point per rune dust per 5 skill points.
Wow.
So some crazy stuff can happen with it. But it's very expensive, because I'm sacrificing points that I have built up that I will never get back.
Yeah.
So it is definitely interesting as far as it goes. Wow. And there are such things as strenuous spells, which means like the Armor of the War Wizard that I said, you can only cast so many strenuous spells per year.
I remember that.
And so if I cast that, I can only cast 2 strenuous spells.
Wow, okay.
So I could cast that twice, or I could cast something else twice.
So it's only a logistics thing?
No, that's a logistics? No, it's strenuous spells. They're yearly.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, I can only cast 2 strenuous spells a year.
And they last the whole year?
No. That one's 30 minutes.
Oh, wow, okay. That's what I meant. They only last like the logistics.
Yeah, or 30 minutes. Generally, it depends on what you're actually trying to do, but yes. Yeah. Like, there's a thing called recall, which allows you to teleport to a certain location. And if you tune a recall destination, it actually allows you to teleport to that. That lasts forever. When you have that recall destination, then you'll have it forever.
That's what Valorant did.
Yes.
He has a mass recall. I'm assuming that's a strenuous or...
Let's look. How about that?
Okay.
I have the list right here. Let's see. Funny enough, there are 20 some odd pages of rituals. So let's see. There's missive. So mass recall is, yes, I think it is a strenuous. It's not on here. Recall is on here. However,
I guess it's not a mass. I guess it's anyone touching him.
So that would be a teleport.
Okay. Well, it's a contingency recall or something for him when he goes down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think because I was there when he was. It goes to Tycho's.
Oh. That's something that's very expensive.
Yeah.
So that is one of those things that a contingency is a ritual which then allows something else to go off. So say you go down, I have a contingency that will pop off when I fall into my death count, which will then either heal me or teleport me away.
I need to get a contingency force to start your spirit on me.
You definitely can get that.
I need that.
Would you like to know how expensive it is?
Yeah, let's find out.
So contingency requires 4 skill points.
Okay.
So depending on the ritualist, they're going to cost you 8 gold.
I thought it was 1 gold per skill point.
Depends on the ritualist.
Okay.
So it could be 4 gold. Or if they're looking to increase their power, they might not charge you for it. Depending. It also so it costs 4 skill points, and let's read the description here. The arcane ritual spell is cast in combination with another spell, such as Force Restore Your Spirit, which can then be activated upon the target character by the person playing that character at any time of his or her choosing, regardless of the status of the character. Just like any other ritual, you may only be under the effect of one contingency ritual at a time, regardless of what spell is paired with it. For more complex pairings with this ritual, the paired spell's intent must be declared at the time of the contingency.
So how many times does the contingency go off? Once and then it's done?
It's done.
So I would pay 4 gold for a one-time contingency of Force Restore Your Spirit.
Right, but as an adventurer, if we're all dead,
Yeah.
it's worth.
Well, I'm thinking for like if I do a life swap, I'm self-sufficient at that point in time.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use a contingency at that point.
No, because usually I'm with people that
Right.
can just do it.
But if it ever becomes that dire need, usually contingencies are cast upon people that are going to be doing dangerous things alone. And that's why when you see we're in fights, I'm negating magicking ritualists because I don't want them popping up and killing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually...
Negate magic gets rid of those contingencies.
Yeah. Negate magic suppresses the magical auras on a
5
person
minutes.
for 5 minutes. Yeah. So...
Okay.
So it's one of those that is definitely important as far as it goes. In fact, I need to learn contingency so I can actually do that.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I have a reflect ritual magic, but I'm not really a combat person per se. Even though I love fighting, I don't really do combat very much anymore. So, as this character anyway.
Reflect is nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Way nice.
Well, it's nice. So as reflect, it is one of those that it's not force. So if anything's force at me, I would have to sidestep and reflect it. So it's not bad though. Definitely. If you can do it. I don't usually take I don't usually take reflex as one of my 5 slots because I generally want to have a wide array of things I can do. And reflect is one of those where, well, I either choose anticipate blow or reflect. So I choose anticipate blow.
Yeah, sidesteps are
Yep.
super handy.
Indeed. Because I don't have a sidestep. I just have anticipate blow. So, yeah, so there are several different things that it can do. Destroy magical barrier, create ritual barrier. The ritual barriers last for longer than your standard barrier, as far as it goes. They can. It also can do almost anything as far as it goes. I'm looking for a specific spell that I'm actually talking about. There's also things. So ritual is not just something you do outside of combat. Ritual can also give you stuff like Hand of Life, which allows you to cast 5 Force Restores in succession.
Wow.
Hand of Fire, Hand of, it's Hand of Element, but it's Hand of whatever you want to cast. So Hand of Ice, Force Freeze you 100, Force Freeze you 100. There's also Hand of the Wizard, which gives you a successive Force Cleanse 100, Force Drain you 100, Force Burn you 100, Force Freeze you 100, Force Shock you 100, Force Stone you 100.
Wow.
But that's illegal, unfortunately.
Yeah, because there's the one necromancy in
2
there. Oh, there's 2 of them in there? Okay.
Yeah.
It covers
Oh,
all
no,
bases.
just one.
Yeah,
Just
I thought it was just the one.
Covers all bases, but you can't cast that without casting Necromancy.
Yep.
You have to go through that succession. But there are some great spells in here, such as the Hand of Great Vitality, which then grants 75 hit points to 5 different people.
Wow.
Yes. So that's something that will probably be handed out. However, that is a strenuous one.
Oh, it is.
So it's one of those times where, oh, we're all going to die. Guess I should cast this. So, yes, and then there are several different hands as far as it goes. Foresight, Glory, Vitality, Life, Radiance, Wizard, Domination, and Death. Oh, and then Hand of Darkness as well. So, there are definitely different things. And actually, it's Group Recall. I just found it.
Oh, okay.
It is not strenuous. It just costs a lot of money. It requires 2 prismatic gems and the burning of 2 skill points as far as it goes. So, very expensive, kind of, but not really. So, there are also several different ways. There is a very important ritual when it comes to reveal shackles of the mind, which allows people to detect if they're being mind controlled at any time, which is good for detecting demonic influences and something that might be hidden as far as it goes. There are several different other things. This is a very fascinating one, which is called a Hero's Blessing. The ritual allows you to target one creature maintaining contact during that casting time to grant the target a force heroism during the ritual. Additionally, this spell can be further enhanced by adding one additional component, and it's determined by what component you had. If you add a silver coin, it adds silver damage for the logistics. You add a fade root, it adds an innate phase. An onyx allows to gain immunity to death blow and killing blow from normal silver flame, ice, air.
Wow.
Mithril gives the ability to use magic damage type as well as giving +1 damage. Dragon Dust allows the ability to generate at will on a 30 account and lowers the target's damage ceiling by 3 to a minimum of 3. As well as the Red Ruby Dust allows someone to become invisible at will on a 5 count. So they're very fun things as far as it goes. But it does take a lot of preparation and time as far as it goes. One of my favorites is actually Legend Lore, which allows you to find the history of said object. So say I wanted to find out where this dagger came from, where it was made, I would cast Legend Lore. It would give me its magical properties, but it would also kind of tell me the tale of the actual legend of that item. And sometimes it's very interesting, and other times it's very mundane as far as it goes. Since I cast a Legend Lore upon that stick of the hooded guy that might or might not be a Forsaken, which if Haramir's a Forsaken, we're in trouble. I cast it on them, and I'm still waiting for the magics to coalesce and give me the description of how that item came to be. It's actually one of my favorite rituals as far as it goes.
How much does that cost?
That one's actually fairly cheap. It's 1 skill point and one prismatic gem. Actually, I was looking at something wrong. Let's look at contingency real quick again. That way you can have a proper... I looked at it wrong. Sometimes contingency actually costs 5 skill points and a rune dust.
That's expensive.
Very expensive. So if you somehow get a rune dust,
How much is a rune dust?
about 20 gold.
Wow.
But if you find one, that's what I'm saying.
Can you get it from the CMA or no?
Yeah. It'd probably cost you like 40.
5 mythic points, so.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, though. I don't know that I have enough for that. We'll have to see.
I don't know. That's one of those where they kind of hold on to their stuff pretty tightly.
I don't know. I couldn't afford that currently. There's no way.
Yeah. No, I couldn't.
I gotta buy a new weapon because mine just expired.
Actually, technically, I could summon my own rune dust and do it, but that's a lot of skill points.
Yeah.
So, but it is a very fun twist on everything because no two ritualists are the same. Banner is very much kind of a war wizard and trying to learn things, the path of the dragon. And there's Camilla, which she's trying to decide between being very destructive or very knowledgeable. And then there's me, who currently is working on creating crystal magic ritual things, which is a little scary considering the information we've gotten.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe the Valhorian will come and end us all anyway. But I
So who or what is the Valhorian?
He's the originator of this plane of existence.
Oh.
He's the great creator. I don't know if he's still around, actually. But he created Cerealia.
Oh, okay.
He from the abyss and created the plane from a different one that had been actually contained by the abyss. And so he was the great dragon, and that, has the dragon's fire that burns everything or saves their lives.
Well, okay.
Yes. So, yeah, he's... you weren't there probably for that one, but we heard the tale of Valhorian when we went to the Abyss as the Garadetskis, when we went to the Western Abyss. That was 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Wow.
Which was actually quite fascinating. If you ever get the chance to hear that tale, if you ever talk to Markov Tailspinner, he can tell you that tale, which is actually a really great story. It was quite good to hear some of the lore that actually went into building this realm, which was, the Valhorian created the realm and was the ruler of the land for a very long time. So, yeah.
Hey Boji, is anyone? I think I know the answer, but has anyone Legend Lord your hammer? I think they have, but
I remember I was very mad at you for just putting that thing on your hammer. As Nikolai, as Zisto, well, who knows?
And I'm surprised no one. I don't think anyone's tried to Legend Lord the Summer Sword, which is interesting. But
If you would like, I love legend loring things. I'll do it for free.
wow, did you do that one for Rory?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because Rory's looking for someone to Legend Lore something that she got.
Oh, no, they already did that.
Oh okay.
Zyra did that while you guys were fighting the Pale, or the Amethyst Golem. They did that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I was like, why are you casting a ritual now?
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. Why had we lost half the group?
Well, was it ever done, Boji? If you would like, I can cast it. I could probably cast it on all three of your things at once, actually.
Well, we don't have mine yet, so.
Oh, you don't have yours yet?
The shield?
Oh,
No, I don't have
oh,
it.
I thought you did.
No.
I thought it needed repairing or something.
No, we don't have any of it.
Oh,
so-
a couple years ago. Oh, it's probably changed since then, because I don't know who is. Has Steve always been running your guys' plot? No,
Well, I don't know about Nevitz, but mine was run by
certain someone else.
yeah, and now he's gone. So now I don't know where I'm at with it. That's
Yeah,
what I need to find out.
You just need to have a talk and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I want this to go somewhere, but I'm concerned it's not." Just be upfront with them because there's too many people to keep track of. So
Yeah.
you need to be a vocal.
It's changed once.
It's changed once. Yeah, I'm sure it has. So yeah, you just need to be vocal about it.
Yeah, I need to find out if like we're still going the original direction that we were going because that was supposed to happen last year,
Mm-hmm.
and then it didn't because Marley couldn't make it. So,
Indeed.
but yeah, so I don't, and then, so they did something different, and so but now I don't know where we're headed with it. Like, so I don't know if I need to start pursuing a different route or so I got to talk to them. But,
Just talk to them about it. Just be vocal. Be persistent.
like,
Because if you are persistent, they won't forget.
yeah, I just have to talk to them and find out where we're going. So.
Yep.
Like, without giving away too much info, Do I need to start, doing something different, or can I still expect to be going to this gauntlet? Like,
Indeed.
that's what I need to know. So
Sounds good.
that's what I tried to do with Winterfest. That's why I asked Druid Gilbreth, because he's been my point. So
Your main point of
my
contact.
main point of contact. So that's why I wanted him there, because then I was going to try to like in game find out where we are, but he didn't show up.
So is he part of the Arcadian Grove?
He is, and so the Arcadian Grove now is supposedly looking into it for me as a favor to him. So that's something, but
You could probably talk to Kane as well.
Kane,
Mhm.
see, he didn't know anything.
He didn't.
So
Well, he
whatever.
probably doesn't, but if you tell him to ask, because they're kind of intermingled, as
Yeah.
far as I recall.
Should have asked him when he was there, but
It's okay.
I didn't know. So
Nope.
yeah,
So yes, ritual magic is like artificing, but it has many different effects. As
okay.
far as
See, I didn't realize it was like artificing. I didn't realize there was these abilities that could be done.
Oh
so
yeah. Yeah.
Now I need to look through ritual magic to see if there's anything I want done on Jovi, if I can afford it.
Shall we look at the? Let's see. There are some elusives in here at the very back. Let's find some elusives. Ones that are very hard to find. That are always fun to look at and be like, I'd like to do that eventually.
Yeah.
Let's see. The problem is these are not set out in a specific
They're
way.
just alphabetical, right? They're
Yeah,
not
they
set
are.
by strenuous or not.
Like that's a necromancy one. We don't want to worry about necromancy.
It would just be funny if I did do necromancy on me. Everyone thinks I'm this holy warrior and I have a necromancy elusive ritual on me.
Sometimes the best twists are the ones that are most unexpected.
Right? Well, there was always this joke for a while that I'm a secret necromancer, but
Well, Jeslyn was a dreadlord for a while.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, okay. We could read Shatter This Realm.
Wow.
So this is an elusive. There's a question mark for what it takes to get. This immensely powerful ritual spell allows the caster to crack stone and rend earth around them. The destruction unleashed can be sent out in a single wave or released in an emanation with the caster at the center. Creatures within the area, especially those closest to the caster, will often suffer considerable damage or even death as a result. The area affected by this spell can vary dramatically, often ranging from 100 feet up to a half mile. The usability of Shatter This Realm is governed by the movements of the stars, the phase of the moon, and the patterns of elemental energy flowing through the local terrain. As such, there are many circumstances where even an incredibly experienced caster is unable to perform this spell at all unless specifically allowed to by the plot head. Now, that spell that you took a death to
Is that one?
is that one. It was a modified cleansing Shatter This Realm.
Wow.
Which is quite interesting as far as it goes, but some really fascinating things on here. So, ritual magic's very fun as far as it goes.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the resolve of our town. Apparently, plot meant for us to run, and we were like, we don't run, we kill.
It was supposed to be a whole summer-long thing, running and trying to affect him, and yeah, they were like, nope, we're gonna kill him now,
Yep.
and you guys overpowered it. So, like, the blast radius was like 5 miles.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was there for that, and even after we were discussing rebuilding it and what to name it, and
Falcon Crater to...
well, I wanted to name it something like Bastion of the North or something like that, and a lot of people got behind that for a little while, and then I left, and then
Yep,
so
and that
then
was
probably
Northwatch.
Yep, so now it's Northwatch. So same, almost a very similar feeling to it. Northwatch, Bastion of the North. But,
Indeed.
So, but yeah, so I remember all that.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating, but yeah, if you're talking about things that shape and change the history of plot, ritual magic is it. You know, it's kind of a power point, but it's one of those where I wouldn't want to take every character I play
No,
to do ritual magic.
for real.
So,
Yeah. It would be kind of fun if they did something similar for warriors.
yeah, I really was pulling for it, like martial traditions and just kind of ritual effects for warriors, ritualistic effects for
Yeah.
warriors, like, you know. I was thinking a ritual barrier shatter that would then leave the warrior with 1 hit point for the next hour. Yeah, I agree. It would be awesome.
Yeah, and, you know, because sometimes we feel a little left out.
Oh, of
It's
course.
Like,
No,
we can't do anything.
Right.
You know, so.
And it's you know, if everybody wants to go the path of power of ritual, that's boring.
Yeah.
You know, I want you guys to be able to be like, you get so amped up, you just overcome this ritual effect by your sheer force of will, you know, which is, that's, for me, that would be so amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But there are weird things, like, you know, you get weird effects as being a, you know, just certain classes.
Mm-hmm.
Warlocks get some really weird effects, and you know, if you delve deep into plot enough, you will come out different than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is really cool. Just gotta take a chance, put on that belt, deal a deal with that demon. I mean, no.
That's something Jovi would never do. But
Oh, exactly.
The demon one.
No.
But,
Well, you wouldn't do it normally.
That's true. That's true too. Like, I don't usually make deals though, so
Nah,
I
I
steer
think
clear
I think the demon boat has sailed for this
for a while.
LARP for now. So, which is fine. You can
Yeah.
only kill so many demons.
Yeah, and it gets kind of repetitive and redundant.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so out of game, is ritual magic responsible for you looking like a human, or is that?
No, actually. So, this mask, I've been working on crystal magic and a way to actually learn and do crystal magic. And I was looking for insights into crystal magic. And my master offered me the opportunity to learn more insights into crystal magic if I wore this mask.
Mm.
And lo and behold, it turned me human.
Hmm.
Now I can't take off the mask. I can't do anything. I actually I have to keep it on. So, and it'll be an interesting thing when it finally comes down. So, if it ever comes down.
Yeah.
So, but that's part of that whole thing. You know, you take a chance. You do some weird, not necessarily things that your character wouldn't do, but if you're on the edge of being like, well, I don't know if he would or not.
See, and that's partially why I kind of want to jump into this crystal thing, is because I want to see what would happen, and I'm interested, and it would give me some more plot. But
Yeah,
I'm,
crystal magic is interesting. I think it's going to be the next plot thing for
but
next
at the
6
same time,
months.
it's magic, and Jovi's very wary of magic because
Yeah.
I just don't know. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me, for Jovi to jump into it, you know. So
I get it. The only reason I jumped into it is because it was the weird aspect of magic.
yeah,
And that's why I was like, I want that. I don't like being cookie cutter. I hate being cookie cutter.
yeah,
So I wanted something to differentiate me from Camilla or Zyra or all these, other wizards that have come before. So, yeah.
See, and I feel like I'm a little too cookie cutter.
That's good for warrior.
Yeah, I guess, but
You're optimized is what I would call you, not cookie cutter.
well, I'm a defensive warrior.
Exactly.
Though, like
No,
all
no.
defense.
That's fine.
So-
Sonya was the stone that the Garadetskis were built on, and she was the reason we were so powerful.
Yeah,
Because individually, yeah, I could lay down 100 points of damage in 5 swings. But you're going to kill me if you live past that 100 points of damage that I put down on you.
yeah,
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing to be optimized. But for someone that's not going to be in combat, if I'm in combat, we're in trouble. So
I've noticed that you only come out when the big guns are needed. I've noticed that. So
yeah, that was the whole point of this character. In fact, I wasn't even gonna fight with him, but I love fighting too much, so it's kind of tough.
yeah, just sitting there. Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's why I want to make a monk. It's my next character.
yeah. I haven't thought of I have my other character made, but I have not thought about him at all.
That means you're still having fun.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Well,
matter.
yeah, Jovi's got a few years still to go.
Okay.
Because I don't know how long it's going to take to get the Shield of Spring.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I want to do is get it and then retire. Because that's that's not fun. But
Well, yeah, exactly. You want to play with your new toy.
yeah, I do. My new toy, that's right.
Totally.
So is that it for Ritual Magic for the most part?
That's the down and dirty of it.
Yeah, we're not going to cover every ability.
No, of course not. Like I say, there's...
So what book can that be found in?
What book? That is the Book of Secrets.
Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
So anybody who's interested, just go to the Mythic Realms website and go to the Book of Secrets. And you can find all that info about ritual magic and all the different ritual abilities that can be done on you or others.
Yeah, that's the so it's the artificing and ritual magic one. It's the very end of everything. No one ever gets that far down though, because it's the end of everything. So yeah.
All right, well, we're going to talk about a few different classes. We've got to go through quite a few to make sure we cover them all this season. Since you mentioned Monk, I think we'll talk about it a little bit too. But we'll talk about Warden first, since we talked about my bonds today and how I have, 7 of them now?
Yep.
I have a slot
get
for
to
one.
20.
Yeah, well, is 20 actually the cap, or?
No, I just think you're gonna get to 20 eventually.
I want to get to 20 because I want those. I'm not going to have 20 bonds by any means, but I want to get to level 20 of that ability because I want to be able to resist mind control 4 times the logistics. Because every 5 levels you get that instead.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I want that. I'm
Awesome.
working on getting to level 10. I'm at level 8 currently, so.
Nice.
Yep. So anyway, so a warden is a guardian which has taken the calling to defend others to new heights of supernatural prowess. They are the most elite bodyguards in all Cerealia and serve as stalwart companions even in the face of the greatest danger. Those that dedicate themselves to the path of the warden learn to peer into the darkest corners, defend against the most forceful threats, and increase even the most innocent comrades' chances of survival. The supernatural bonds which a warden creates with each ward can last a lifetime and have been known to turn even reluctant companions into the fiercest of allies. So that's kind of the description of the warden, and that's what my character does. I like to defend others and keep them alive. So it was kind of a natural progression for my character. So
A very solid class.
yeah. Doesn't do a lot. It's a very selfless class because a lot of the skill points are not things for you, they're for your bonds.
Yes, but isn't that the nature of LARPing?
Yeah. So, but I mean, and that's the nature of my character too. He's very selfless. So, in fact, now that I think about it, someone was trying very hard to get me to offer to bond him. The merchant that was in town was like, "Oh, you're a warden, eh?"
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, "I would love to have a warden," and I was like, "Oh, well, maybe for a fee," but I didn't offer because I knew I was like, "Oh."
I was trying to remember someone actually accepted money for awards. I don't remember.
Well, I've been told to.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah. I've been told it's like, what's depending on like 4 silver per quarter or something like that, which doesn't seem high enough, but
No.
But so I've had a few people that were like, you have so many slots, like you should use it as an influence thing.
No, it could be.
So, but anyway, maybe I should bond. No, but I think I'm gonna pick one more and then I'm gonna be done.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I want to max out at 8, and then
It's a lot of people to keep
it
track
is
of.
a lot, and that's the thing. So it's already hard with. No, I'm not in my scale mill. Partially because I wanted to show off my new shirt. my new Spring
good shirt.
Warrior shirt that I had made for me. But biggest reason is I'm tired.
Yeah, it was
Like
a long
physically
weekend.
tired from wearing it 2 days in a row and fighting. Like yesterday, I wore it from like 11 till 3. So,
Yeah.
and then I wore it the night before from 10 until 2 or 3 a.m. So, my body is just, my muscles are sore. So that's why I'm not wearing the armor. So,
It's one thing I do not miss
yeah.
is armor.
Well, it takes so long for me to suit
Oh
up.
yeah, it definitely does.
So-
The Gamson and everything else.
Yep. So let's start talking about some of the abilities. If you want, we can just do every other one.
Sure.
So, level 1, skill addition, keen sight indoors. This skill changes the nature of any true vision spell you expend on yourself. When casting the true vision spell, you may change the incant to innate and change spell name to keen sight. Innate keen sight 5. This enhanced spell allows you to see through the hide skill while indoors.
Which is good when you have assassins trying to come kill you.
See, I wasn't anywhere near you
No,
guys the other day,
I
so
know.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
But it does make me a good. Now that I finally joined the mercenary guild, so I have
Yeah.
a feeling if we're ever indoors, I'm going to be hired to be a bodyguard because I can do that.
That's good.
So, yeah,
That's good.
finally joined the mercenary guild.
Good job.
Right before they changed leadership.
That's okay. Sitka will be a good leader.
Yep.
So. Next one is at all times gain the immunity to the roleplay portion of charm, fear, and terror effects. You are still subject to the daze effects of the charm skill, are still subject to running away effects of fear and terror, and you must call reduced. So what that does is you're not afraid. You might run away for 10 seconds, but you're not afraid.
Yeah.
After a fear goes off, you're supposed to be fearful of that individual. Most people don't do that, but that is definitely.
See, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees that. Like, that's why I
No.
don't like that ability, is because I don't see people role playing it.
No.
Because if they did, the whole front line would fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a really powerful ability if people role played it correctly,
Indeed.
and I don't see them doing it. So, but with this, I'm now immune to, once
Oh,
per
you are?
yep.
Oh wow.
Once per logistics, you can say when someone does fear or terror, you can shout, "I stand with Falcon Crest. I am not afraid," and you gain the courage ability for 5 minutes,
Awesome.
which is immunity to fear and terror.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm like, that's cool. It's very flavorful with the incant. I like it.
It is.
So the next ability is all times gain plus one level to resist waylay. This stacks with the benefit of wearing a helmet. So I have resist level up to level 2. So
Yeah.
the only thing that can take me out is waylay 3.
That's good. And if
Yeah.
you were to get you already have a helmet, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. With the helmet on, it's resist level 2.
Oh, I thought it
'Cause
was 3.
No, because the helmet only resists 1 level.
Oh.
At least that's what I believe.
Oh. Doesn't
So
matter.
yeah.
I mean, it does, but how often do you hear Waylay 3 that you can't parry?
That's just it. I forget that I can parry them.
Yeah, I know. I remember the first time I ran up behind Sonya and she parried all my Waylays. I was like, never mind. But anyway.
I don't
really-
have very many parries though, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think I have 2 or 3 per battle. I think that's all. In fact, I think it's 2 plus 1 bonus daily one. I think that's
Yeah.
where I'm sitting. So I've been spending all my skill points and increasing my bond slots. That's a lot of skill points tied up
It
into
is.
that.
It is.
And that's kind of why I want to get bonds, is because otherwise those are wasted skill points.
Mhm.
Like, so I don't think people look at it that way.
No.
They just think it's funny that I offer to bond everybody, but it's like, no, I don't want those skill points going to waste.
Yep.
So,
That's good.
so level 2.
Do you want me to read this one?
Yeah, if you want, or I can.
No, I can't. Not a problem. You are able to develop. This is called Warden Bond. You are able to develop a protective bond with one other willing character. This supernatural connection created between your soul and the soul of another character which you seek to defend. A character to which a warden is linked is commonly referred to as a bond ward. The bonded ward is able to use a phone or a radio to call you and inform you if their personal status changes as to any one of the following: bleeding, dying, unconscious, conscious. No other communication is permitted. You and your bonded wards will also be able to learn ways of improving the power of the warden bond that links you. These abilities often involve a commitment in skill points from both the warden and the bonded ward character. The ward of the bonded ward, or the warden of the bonded ward, may choose to sever this connection at the end of every quarter, returning the skill points to the bonded characters. The warden and their bonds must both be present on an event to benefit from these abilities. They cost 2 per bond. You may purchase the skill multiple times with a maximum number of bonds wards not exceeding the level of your warden utility skill.
And that's what makes it cost a lot, is the warden utility skill goes up. So it's only 2 for that, but I have to match my warden utility
That
skill.
is a lot,
And that's
yeah.
what costs a lot, because as you can see there, so every 5 levels it resets, sort of. So
But it doubles.
It
in
basically
price.
doubles. So for me, for my next level, for me to get 9 bonds, it's essentially 16 skill points.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. So that's why, like, I'm at level 8, so I spent 12 skill points to hit that level 8. I want to utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And what do you get with the warden utility skill?
so at level, I think I've maxed it out. Have I?
Level 5 is the
I think
max.
so. Yeah, I have to have, because if I'm at level 8, I've maxed it out,
Yeah.
so it doesn't go any
And
higher.
you kind of
So-
start it over again.
yeah. So I don't know if it does repeat itself. I'll have
it
to ask
does.
them. So
It does.
Once per logistics, bonded ward grant well-being force. So I can, towards my bond, I can grant well-being or force defend them. At level 2, I gain bonded. I can, against my ward, I can grant well-being, force defend, gain +1 to maximum number of bonded wards. I didn't know there was a maximum number. I'll have to
Right,
talk
it's
about
based off your, so you can do 8.
Oh, that's right. It does that at every single
Yeah.
level. So, gain bonded ward, grant well-being, force defend again. So basically, every level adds another grant well-being or force defend and another maximum bond per level. So that's the nice thing, is I have. So I do need to look at that, because if that's the case, I can grant well-being or force defend 7 times. Because at level 5, I gain resist mind control instead of the grant well-being and force, and that's why I want to go to level 20. Is resist mind control is super handy to have.
It is.
So that's charm and everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use it for charm.
I guess I could have the other day.
You could have, but
He hit me with it once, and I could have resisted it and started macking him. But
save
I
it
was like,
for
"Man."
something that's really scary.
I did, because the big guy was right behind him, and I didn't want him to throw something at me because they had talked about some of the abilities. So, so force defend is really nice, because so if someone gets hit with a force ability, I can't defend that, but I can use a force defend to defend that. So
That's very, very helpful.
super handy. I did it once, and I ended up making me the target of the yeah. He hit Lita like 5 times with like a force slay. So I literally stood behind him, force him like every single time. So he stopped, and this was a black Mureg, mind you. So he stopped and came right at me, and I was like, "Oh crap!" He's like, "Oh, you want to play that game?" I was like, "Oh no." Because I can't keep myself alive as well as I can keep others alive, because I only have 2 side steps.
Yeah.
So he hit me like 3 or 4 times. I was down. I was like, crap.
Wow.
So, this is the one that I need to learn more about, because I never use it and I bought it. But go ahead and read it.
If you cast either the phase or transcend the physical spell while touching one of your bonded wards, then both of you and the bonded wards are affected by the spell. So what that means is, I have phase. I can go, I summon magic to phase.
Yeah.
It means we're both phased. You can use a rune, you can use a scroll, and you can affect another.
See, because I don't think I have phase. I think I have. Which one's the higher one? Phase or transcend the physical?
You have phase is the higher one. They're actually the flip side of each other.
Okay.
Transcend the physical is, I mean, we should probably look that one up just in case I'm misquoting that one.
Let's see which one I have on my character sheet.
Yeah, there you go.
I have Phase Transcend. So Transcend is the level 5 ability.
No, that's planar transcendence.
Oh, is it?
Transcend the physical means you can move.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one.
And if you take magic damage, you can still take magic damage. Phase is you're locked in place.
Okay.
But you don't take any damage.
So Phase is what I have. I have level 3 of Phase.
Yeah.
So I can phase 3 times?
Yeah, and you can also transcend the physical 3 times. They're the slashy of each other.
Oh, okay. They're the either or.
Yeah.
I've never used it.
Yeah. Well, Phase, I use it all the time.
There was one, and actually there was a weekender that made me buy it.
Yeah.
Because there was like, there's a bomb that's going to go off and do like force 30 damage. And I was standing next to Boji, and I was like, this would be a perfect time for me to use phase, and I don't have that ability.
Yep.
Like, I literally...
And you could have phased Boji,
both of
too.
Yep, I could have faced both of us. And I literally, after that weekender with the open house, I'm like, I'm buying that skill. And I've never had an opportunity since then to use it.
Huh.
Like, because a lot of my bonds are warriors, and they're not. They don't want to stay out of combat.
No.
The only one that wants to stay out of combat is Zyra, and she can already do that.
And Rin.
Yeah, well, Rin does her own thing.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm hardly ever next to Rin. So, skill addition. Your Warden Bond now allows your bonded wards to learn how to extend their bleed count. Each bonded ward gains the option to purchase an improved bond ability, extending their bleed count by 30 seconds. It costs me 2 skill points for my bonds to use this, and they must pay 8 skill points to benefit from this ability.
But it's good, because it just...
It's way good.
Less force restores.
Made Boji's super long.
Yep.
So then this next one.
The next one, skill addition. Your Warden Bond now allows your bonded wards to learn how to extend their death counts. Each bonded ward gains the option to purchase an improved bond ability, extending their death count by 1 minute. Costs you 2, costs them 4.
Which is funny. Good. It's longer, but it's cheaper.
Yes.
But your death count's already pretty long, but Boji's ridiculous because of that.
Yeah.
He has Survivor, he has some other stuff, and he has that.
That's good.
He's like, don't worry about me when I'm down. I'm like, okay. So that's all the level 2 abilities, which are all really cool, especially the radio one. We use a walkie-talkie, and I need to remind my bonds that they're supposed to tell me when they're conscious, because they don't.
Yeah.
So I'm worried the whole time that they're down and they're all standing up. Like Saturday, Lita went down, and someone was like, "We got her." I'm like, "Okay, good," because I didn't know if she was getting up or not. But yeah, see, he says, "Focus on others, because I bleed and die for a while."
So what you're saying is you just want to lie and bleed for as long as you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
He's taking his breather.
Yep.
Yeah,
Breather.
he's taking a breather. There you go.
I need it.
I need my breather. So, level 3. This is where the Warden really kind of takes off and people love them. So, level 3, once per logistics. So, that's basically one session, or for the weekend, or for the Winterfest, it was both nights, or night and day. I gained the ability, or the use of the Death Swap skill. So this ability allows you to react to a bonded ward who has entered their bleed count or death count. You may use Death Swap to restore the bonded ward to full health, curing all standard status effects and raising the target from their bleed count or death count. To use this ability, you must call Death Swap character name via your Warden radio or aloud if they were within earshot. Upon using this ability, you immediately fall into your death count. There's no way to reduce or negate this. I'm going to have to talk to them about that, because they told me I could do it aloud within 10 feet. But if it's within earshot, I can yell pretty loud.
Yeah. Yeah, they might have changed things.
Yeah. I'll have to ask them, because if they want it to be 10 feet, or I think it was like 10 or 20 feet, they need to change it.
Yeah,
put it
definitely.
in the book, so.
But you can radio them, so who
Yeah.
cares?
Well, because not everyone has a radio unless Ira remembers to bring them, and I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Depending.
Well, I mean, she's dependable. It's not that. It's just I feel bad always asking her to bring all these extra radios.
Totally.
That's what it comes down to, because
yeah.
she's dependable.
Oh, of course
So,
she is.
Anyway, so.
All right, the next one is Skill Edition. Your Warden Bond now allows your bonded wards to learn how to survive assassination. Each bonded ward gains the option to purchase the improved bond ability, which allows them to call reduced against the assassinate ability. This causes your bonded wards to fall into their bleed count rather than their death count when assassinated.
And I do have that ability.
Funny enough, Gray, while we were out to lunch last night, said, I should have bought that.
Yeah, he told me that too. He was like, I really wish I had the skill points to buy that because I could have used it Friday night. Like, he
Now that
actually
you're a
told me.
town official, you gotta watch out.
Yep, so. Well, that was one of the reasons I bonded him is because he was the mercenary guild leader. So he already was kind of a town official. And
Totally.
now that he's the sheriff,
Yeah.
like that was always my original reason for bonding people was being in a status or authority position. So
Neat.
if that's the case, then I need to try to bond Camilla
Maybe.
and
If she'll allow it.
Sitka.
I don't know if Camilla will allow it.
I don't know either. I've never offered, but I should just because that was my original reasoning behind it, and I didn't stick with it for very long. But,
Totally.
last one, which is no, that's not true.
No, that is the last one.
Okay, gain the ability to use the defend skill to protect your bonded wards against death blow or killing blow, and this is infinite. I buy this skill once, and I can infinitely defend
there's
against
one more.
death blow or killing blow.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Super amazing.
Have you seen how many NPCs get super mad when you just go defend, 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 defend? Yes.
Yeah. So I used it Friday night on Valorant, and I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Like I forget. Like they death blowed him, and I death defend. Like I was like,
Captain quick.
Yeah. So I thought I was using a regular defend, and I was like, wait, no, I have infinite of those, so never mind. That didn't take my defend after all, but
That's funny.
it was kind of funny. So it was one of the few times I actually was hanging out with Valorant, because he usually goes and does his own thing too. But we got buddied up, so I
Yeah.
literally stuck to him like glue that night. So
It's good.
and then
There's
so
the last one.
yeah, there is one more. Yeah, so it's I don't have this one.
You should have it. Gains the ability to purchase the arcane grant evade spell as a combat skill. So what that allows you to do is cast it on you or someone else, which is a parry and a dodge all in one.
Yeah.
So it's expensive, but even if you buy one level 1, guess what? It gives you that one per battle. So it's worth buying.
Actually, I believe the reason I don't have it is
You don't have a slot?
I don't have a slot.
I have slots coming out of my ear now. Don't quote me on that.
But I believe I didn't know that like level that at 150 you could spend X skill points to gain an extra utility.
So
slot.
that's a combat skill. But yeah, at 150 and at 500 you can
Yeah.
spend 70, or was it 45 and 75?
I don't think it's 45. I think it's 20.
I have it right here. I have my character sheet. So it's 300, or it's 150, or 100 and 500, and I don't know how much it is. So
Yeah, and I didn't know that was an option, so I might have to talk to them about that so that I can. Otherwise, I have to get rid of something, and I don't know what to get rid of because I have had a lot of bonds, and other people tell me that that's a nice ability to have. And
Yeah,
I
I
need
think
to
so.
figure out what to get rid of.
well, I mean, so you have parry, or get rid of parry and just buy evades.
Yeah.
Because I think the one issue is you have to cast that on yourself. But how many levels of parry do you have?
6 or 7.
So if you have 6, that gives you 2 grand evades a battle.
Yeah.
So, Granivade, you'd have to cast you can only have one Granivade at a time, though. So that's the limitation of that.
Parry's a combat, not a...
Yeah, that's a combat skill.
Oh, is it? Then maybe I do have enough slots.
Yeah. There's a combat skill access.
I thought it was a utility one. And I'm out
No,
of
the
utility.
Warden utility is a utility.
That's right.
But this is combat skill.
Yeah, I'll have to talk about that this Wednesday.
Yes, you should.
Let's see
It's
if
a
I
very-
have... Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is missing gray.
Well, yeah. Obviously, it wasn't put on there.
Yeah, this is an old sheet.
Mm-hmm.
This is from November of last year. I haven't saved any of the new ones because they haven't been updating them correctly anyway. So, but yeah, so I'll have to save my newest one after this Wednesday because there will be some changes on it.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's the Warden.
That is the Warden.
As you've seen, a lot of those skills affect someone else rather than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the only one that affects me is the Waylay.
Yeah.
The rest of them affect somebody else.
But it's one of the best classes in the game, in my opinion.
I like it.
That it makes you interact with people.
It does.
It gives you so much more utility. So it's a very good class.
Yeah. See, and I have Boji, and he's always going to be Bond because he's my brother, regardless.
Right.
But I kind of envy what the Garadetskis had. Like, I'm trying to build that same thing by bonding all these people, but they just kind of...
There are too many moving pieces.
They
on
do
that
their
one.
own thing anyway, so it's kind of, like...
Garadetski's is a very hard thing to recreate.
Yeah, I know.
Because even we try to recreate it, but we're not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So.
So, like, that's the one thing that, like, I'm kind of bummed about.
Yeah.
Like, but I got the picture taken, which was kind of cool.
That is cool.
So,
That's neat. That's a memory that you'll
Yeah.
have for a very long time.
so let's go talk about the Monk.
One of my favorite other classes that I've never played, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I've planned to play. If Z-Sto wasn't around, my Monk would be around. But, I kind of committed to the Monk, or committed to the Wizard because I didn't want to fight. Like, I'm always a fighter. I've always been a fighter through the 20 years of LARPing. I've always fought. So Z-Sto's very foreign to who I am because I'm very much I want to get in there and kill things. I mean, you could probably ask Boji. Sometimes when I'm super overzealous, I'm like, get out of the way. I'm going to go kill something. So, all right, I'll read this one here. None are as skilled in the art of self-mastery as the monk. Monks trained in the ancient traditions are said to fight with the claws of the leopard, the ferocity of the tiger, the grace of the crane, the fangs of the snake, and the power of the dragon. Even for all the power they possess, most monks are advocates of order and discipline, as the loftier ideals of enlightenment and peace. Indeed, the majority of monks are charitable to a fault, turning away physical treasures in pursuit of more internal rewards.
I believe we have one monk in town right now, and that's Quinn.
Right now, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. I'm surprised we don't have more. Well, we have
Some retired ones,
Some
I know
retired
that,
ones, yeah.
but like actually active in town we have, and that was recent. That was as of August of last year, I believe, that he finally
they
became a monk.
put down the bow and decided
Yeah,
to be
he
a
put
monk.
down the bow and became. So he went totally.
Yeah.
He was a
But he's kind of like me. He's like, I'm bored,
yeah,
standing in back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I liked having his range though.
Oh yeah, he's real accurate with that.
Yeah, it was really nice, especially me, because he'd like shoot over my shoulder, and I was like, dude, that worked out great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's okay.
so,
You got to do what you.
yeah, well, what's
wanna
fun
save
for you
yourself.
though,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure. So, level 1, skill edition chi armor. This skill changes the nature of any arcane armor spell on you. Chi armor has the ability to withstand the negate magic spell. Negate magic does not suppress chi armor as it does with arcane armor.
Yeah. So it's great because
That's
it's
way good.
their physical manifestation of protection instead of actual spell per se. It's pretty awesome. So next one is gain +1 base health when benefiting from chi armor. So just become tankier.
Yeah. All times when benefiting from the chi armor ability, gain +1 level to resist melee as if they were wearing a helmet, but it does not stack with benefits of a helmet.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because they're just so tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know. That one doesn't come up much, but it's not bad. And then the next one is Deadly Fist. You gain the ability to use short or medium claws to represent your fists. Dual rules still apply, so if you don't have dual wield,
You only get one.
you only get one. The claw-based damage is 2. Claws can be enhanced with weapon gloves from weaponsmithing. That's actually something very new. So when you had claws before, you couldn't enhance them at all. You can't put poisons on them. You can't do magic damage. No sheen. You were normal.
Wow.
Normal damage. So that's a kind of a olive branch that they extended to the monk class.
I like it because even in D&D, the monks could eventually do that.
Well, that's because they eventually became divine beings.
Oh, yeah.
But,
That's true. So, next one. All times gain the ability to use the parry skill, regardless of whether or not you have a weapon or shield in hand.
it's awesome.
I mean, it makes sense because you're using your hand because you're gonna have claws. So,
Yeah. The scout also gets that ability.
do they?
Yeah.
Nice.
So usually I'll sit here like this. Someone tries to hit me. I'm like parry.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Combat skill access gains the ability to replace the parry skill with the evade combat skill. So this one is, instead of the spell, it replaces your parry, which is amazing because then you can either dodge or parry, which is awesome.
Nice.
And that's level 1, and that's a pretty powerful level 1.
Yeah, it is.
There.
So,
Yeah.
all right, we can scroll down a little bit. So, level 2. First thing at level 2 is at all times gain +1 base health stackable only when benefiting from the chi armor. So that's a total of +2.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It puts them online with wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get 2 at that level.
Well, it also aligns them with the Aegis.
Yeah.
Aegis is the same, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Next one is all times gain a heightened strike damage of +1 to triple strike or +2 damage to a single strike with your weapon proficiency. So it just allows you to be a little more damaging, which is actually pretty good.
And then you gain another heightened strike of +1 damage to triple strike or +2 damage to single strike with your backstab skill.
So those kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what you're using to increase your damage. So, yeah. And then the monk utility skill, which is quite fun, gives you vigor or feats of strength based on how many you buy. For the first 4 levels, it's once per logistics, gain a vigor or a feat of strength. And then the 5th level would give you a vigor, a feat of strength, or a resist mind control. Now, vigor, as we recall, provides you with a heal, a full heal, which is something that's really great. And obviously, feats of strength are fun too.
When we say full heal, you still have all your status effects, though.
Right. It's true.
So that's one thing that I like about my being attuned to spring, though.
Yeah.
I got a ritual. It's a ritual, I guess you could say. It is a ritual. When I use vigor, I get the old vigor back.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
The one
so-
that heals everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's probably not a status. I bet that's not a ritual. Is it on a card or is it on your character sheet?
It's on a card.
Oh, okay. If it was on your character sheet, it's permanent.
Yeah, no, it was something that was done to help me with the Shield of Spring. I had to stand in a circle of a sphere of eternity, and I had to think on my heart's desire, which was the Shield of Spring, and be attuned to the element of the shield.
Right.
So it's something along those. It's like, so I get that, and I get to copy the Druid Spring ability.
Oh, cool.
So in Spring I need to start carrying around packets.
Yeah.
So that I can copy their spell.
Oh.
So once I hear it, I can say, I have to read it again, but I can say like duplicate or something, and I can cast it again immediately after they
Mimic.
do. Yeah, it's called mimic. So I can do that like right after they do. So,
Nice.
and I think it's a healing one.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. I'll have to read it up and then get with some druids and be like, by the way, if you're gonna do this, let me know because I can mimic it.
Definitely.
And that's pretty powerful to be able to do it twice in a row like that. So.
It is.
And I like that about the druid, that the druid has abilities that are based on the season. That's fine.
Druid abilities, actually, Druid's probably the strongest class out of them all.
Yeah.
If you want to make a crazy caster, you make them like Druid Eldritch, and they're really scary.
So that's all the level 2 abilities. So now let's talk about level 3. So again, they gain +1 base health stackable only when benefiting from the chi armor. So that's a total of +3. So.
And then the next one is reduce your damage ceiling from the chi armor by 1, minimum 3, so it would be 5, most likely.
5, and then they can hunker down.
Yeah, if they get hunker down.
Yeah. So they can go down to 3. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I can do.
Yeah.
So.
That's rare, but yeah.
Yeah. And then skill addition, unseen attack. Gain the ability to use melee combat abilities with a touch. Unseen attack may not be used in combat, and you must follow all the rules of the code of conduct.
Which is awesome. So if I wanted to come up and be like, maim.
You just touch them.
Yeah, your arm's maimed.
So you don't have to have the claws. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
It's like a Vulcan neck pinch. You could knock someone out. You could slay them. It's actually really cool.
So basically, the code of conduct, you're gonna have to like ask permission to.
Well, yeah. So if you want to grapple or something like that, you would need to ask permission. But if I'm coming up and just maiming you or something else like that, it's
Yeah.
So
I have a little ritual. It's not an actual ritual, but a little ritual I do when I bond someone. I put my hand on their shoulder and I always ask permission.
that's good.
So if we can go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. I don't know if there's any more. Oh, that's the last ability.
That's the last ability, but that class has a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
As far as it goes.
So
Like that unseen attack is actually hilarious. Can't wait to use it. So, yeah.
so we've gone over 3. I think we have to go over 4 or 5 before the end of every episode before the end of the season to get them all in. So, but that's up to you. We've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
We can go over one more. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's go. What do you know what we've done and what we haven't?
Let's
look at the list here.
For the most part, I kind of, since we mentioned it, I kind of want to do Druid.
Okay.
Since we've mentioned it, or Eldritch Soul, because that's a new one, and I don't know much about Eldritch Soul.
I actually know nothing about Eldritch Soul.
So let's do
because I'm a
Eldritch Soul.
wizard.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to take Eldritch Soul.
right.
It
I
gets
am
specifically in the prereqs. So.
Exactly.
So we're doing that one?
Eldritch Soul, let's do that one. So, Eldritch Soul, awakening to the immense power of their own sorcerous talents. An Eldritch Soul is a mage who has allowed their innate magical gifts to blossom into a wild and otherworldly force. Eldritch souls who master these talents learn to spontaneously harness and shape magic in ways that transcend the boundaries which limit other spellcasters. They send forth magic from their hands as easily as breathing and often eschew the structure found in written scrolls and tomes of formal magic, preferring to directly harness the power of runes. Prerequisite: a character cannot take this class if they have taken the wizard class.
Because that would break everything.
The first level of Eldritch Soul can be obtained without receiving training.
Which is cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So go ahead and read that first ability.
So they gain the ability when using at-will spellcasting via mystic spellcasting or elemental spellcasting. The spellcasting is no longer interrupted when taking damage.
Ooh,
It's pretty good.
that's way good.
Yeah.
Skill addition. Gain one of the following. Either once per battle when using a rune of element 5, you increase the damage by plus 10, stackable, or at all times when casting Fire Burst, you increase the damage by plus 5. So you have to pick between those two.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
so here's a big one.
Yeah, I got it. At Logistics, your wild and unruly gift for magic grants you the ability to cast a spell which you would not otherwise possess the ability to cast. Using the innate incant, activate this ability at Logistics. You must choose one battle use spell you have and sacrifice it for the duration of the Logistics. The spell you gain is based upon the outcome of a single 10-sided die. On a 1 roll, gain a bonus use of elemental spellcasting strike, that would be summon fire to, burn you 5, burn you 5, burn you 5.
Mm-hmm.
On a 2, gain bonus mystic spellcasting strike, so summon life to heal 8, heal 8, heal 8. On a 3, gain a bonus use of Elemental Sheath 3 or Empower Sheath 3, which would give you 3 swings of a plus 3. On a 4, gain a bonus of Vitality 5, Cause Fear. On a 5, gave a bonus of a Grant Dodge, Grant Parry. On a 6, gain a bonus of a Defend You, Weaken You. On a 7, gain a bonus Charm You, Cause Betrayal. On an 8, gain a bonus Repel You, Trip You. On a 9, gain a bonus Restrain You, Immobilize You. On a 10, gain a bonus Freeze Limb, Fireburst spell. It costs 15, and basically with this, it shows the truly wild nature of their magic. So, which is very cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's a flavor. It's a flavor ability, which I really like. Like you said, it shows the unruliness of it, so that's cool. At level 2, at all times when affected by a negate magic or negate ethereal spell, reduce the duration by half. Ooh, call reduced. Additionally, when affected by negate magic spell, you retain the ability to cast your at-will spells from mystic spellcasting and elemental spellcasting.
That's cool.
That's huge.
Right.
So that
because you negate magic me, I can't do anything for 5 minutes.
yeah, that would have made the Amethyst Golem not so scary against an Eldritch Soul. I don't think we have any right now, do we?
Yeah, we do. We have 3 of them.
Do we?
Yeah. So there's Miles, there's Ergo, and there's one more. So, yeah. So.
Cool. I didn't know they were.
Yep.
So.
Skill addition. Gain 3 of the following at all times when using a Rune of Energy. Gain plus 5 minutes to its duration. So that's a 10-minute 2-packet casting.
Wow.
Once per battle, extend spell. When casting any of the following spells on yourself, you must call Empowered and gain 5 minutes to the spell duration. True Vision 5, Invisibility 5, Shadow Form, Phase, or Transcend the Physical. So each become a 10-minute duration.
Nice.
One,
Oh no, it does say True. No, True Vision could potentially become 35, or is that specifically only
it
on
just
True
says
Vision?
True Vision 5.
Okay.
So it might be True Vision 35, but that's who knows.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to ask about that. But
And then once per battle, Twin Spell. When casting a non-damaging, non-force combat spell such as Repel You, may immediately throw a second packet. Once for Logistics, Forceful Spell. Add a force keyword to a single spell packet of any single spell that you cast using your own abilities. Once per Logistics, Burst Spell. When casting non-damaging, non-force combat spell such as Repel Your Cause Fear, you may cast it as a mass packet, which means you throw 10 packets and you'll And whoever gets hit only takes the effect once. And then Spell Flurry. You must clearly call Spell Flurry to enter this stance and gain +2 damage to your spell attacks. Additionally, the incant of your at-will spells from Mystic Spellcasting and Elemental Spellcasting is hastened to a 3 count. You are unable to use the parry skill while this stance is still active. That's 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot of damage dealing. At all times, may use the innate incant. Using this incant allows you to cast spells even when affected by silence. Ooh.
Yeah, they're very powerful.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yep. This is level 3, by the way, that we got it into.
Yep, my bad.
And then gain 2 of the following all times when making a Runecraft Artifice proficiency roll for an infusion. Gain +5. Or you may, there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
See, once per logistics, you may call resist as a defense against any force level or lower spells of negate ethereal or negate magic.
Wow.
Once per logistic, when casting ritual magic, you may choose to extend 1 skill point as a substitute for a single prismatic dust or gem. So that's the opposite of the wizard. I get to use a gem for a skill point. And then at all times, gain +2 base health when benefiting from arcane armor. So
That's cool.
yeah. And then their Eldritch Echo is pretty cool.
Okay. So, Force Skill Addition, Eldritch Echo. May expend a use of your Force skill to use the Eldritch Echo spell. You can either spend 5 skill points to do it once per logistics, or you can do it spend 15 to gain it at all times, which would be for every Force skill you could potentially do this. So, Eldritch Echo. This spell allows you to immediately cast 1 packet of Force Burn Free, Shock Stone, Drain, Cleanse, or Heal you 30, followed by a separate casting of a forceful spell, which must be used within 10 seconds. Forceful spell allows you to add the force keyword to a single spell packet of any single spell that you cast using your own abilities. The damage type for this first package is chosen at the time of casting. Example, incant, innate Eldritch Echo, Force Stone you 30, and Nace Force Trip you. So...
pretty cool. Yeah, so it just kind of demonstrates their ability to be flexible. So it's definitely neat. It's a newer class, you can tell, because they're a little more innovative in what they've done, and they wanted something, completely different as far as it goes. So it's a neat class.
Yeah. Sounds really cool. I know that I know someone's looking at it for their other character. So, yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end there. We got a few things to talk about real quick before we do. So first off, we're always talking about Mythic Realms. So this season and last season we're talking about Mythic Realms, specifically their rule set and everything, and their events. Second off, we need to talk about where we film at. We talk about where we film at Ascendance Gaming Center. Which is a LAN center down in South Salt Lake. They have 3 or 4 ultras now. 4 ultras, which are like the high-end graphics. Yeah.
4.
Yep. So you get some really good graphics for, what have you, Satisfactory or whatever, which is very intensive on your computer.
Just use it to play Final Fantasy Free Enterprise on.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
But they also have a lot of other regular computers you can come down and play on. They've got 2 VR stations you can come play VR on.
See them in the background.
Yeah, you can see those behind us. They've got the fences to kind of cage them in so that you're not running into each other or walking outside of the boundary. So that's kind of nice. They're real great though. I appreciate them. They get up early to do this. They're up way late Saturday night, so I appreciate them doing this for us.
Totally.
So yeah, come on down, check them out. We appreciate it. Also, the episodes are available on YouTube and on podcast every Wednesday. Podcast is available on Anchor FM. We're also on Google Play Store, iTunes, and a few others that I can't recall, but they're big for podcasts, specifically Spotify. But there's a lot of other podcast specific ones as well, so that's real cool. Check us out on there. But we're also usually archive all of these on Twitch as well, where you can catch us either way. Coming up, we will be linked on the Mythic Realms Facebook page as well,
Oh wow.
which is cool. And I just need to talk to the web. I meant to do this Friday night. We got a little busy. They're also going to link us on the Mythic Realms page itself.
Oh, cool.
They're going to have a link. I don't know where they're going to put it. But I talked to the social media manager. He said that would be a great idea. So,
It's good.
so that's cool. So we'll be a little easier to be found there as well too. So basically,
Nice.
for new people who want to learn about it, this is a great revenue or a great resource. So yeah, that's really cool. I don't have any more guests set up yet, so I can't tell you what we're doing next week because I have no idea.
Wild card.
Yep, wild card. So I am really hoping. It really just depends on his schedule, but I'm really hoping before the end of the season to get the founder of Mythic Realms to be on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it. He's just really busy, and he doesn't
He is
know
a
he
busy
knows
man.
his schedule week by week. So that is what I'm really looking forward to. I'm also trying to get two guys to come on down and talk about your background, like the importance of background, and not to, like, as he put it, paint yourself in a corner.
Definitely.
So that's a topic I want to talk about by the end of the season. I also want to talk about downtime by the end of the season because that's a huge part, which is
Can be.
kind of new.
Ish.
Yeah, new-ish. I mean, well, I guess 2 or 3 years, but we weren't always doing it, so that's kind of fun.
So if you weren't doing downtime, you weren't getting a lot of plot. Back
Yeah.
any day.
Yeah.
That's how you would be. I want this done. I want this done.
Yeah. So, and then for the season finale, we're gonna have, which will be
4 weeks.
the
from
last week of March, I believe.
Yep.
So I have to get everyone scheduled. But we will be doing the Dark Star Alliance.
Ooh.
Talking to all of them.
Neat.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun big group that we'll have. So
I'm gonna come in and just pepper you guys with questions. Then.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So that'll be great. So again, everyone, appreciate you for being here. Appreciate the interaction, the comments, the questions. And I believe that's it. So thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Have a good one.